Yes, indeed. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Goglings, Gogorifics, Gog peoples of the world. Welcome to episode 375 of Pen and Pixels. I am your host, Arvin Eleron. This is the show that focuses on story and narrative in games every Tuesday, right here on GogCom's Twitch channel. And today we are continuing with our Talisman Adventures playthrough. We've been away from Talisman for a little bit, just because of scheduling, actually more of the other campaign than of this one. But we are here now, and we are back, and we are ready to go. And I hope people are as fired up as I am for some more Talisman Adventures, The Lady's Tomb. Before I go any further, just a couple of quick reminders. If you have not done so already, please follow us here on GogCom's Twitch channel. If you have not done so already, please consider as well subscribing to us here on the channel, because that supports all of the streamers that do what we do for you here on a daily/weekly basis. So please consider that. And if you have not already done so, please consider clicking through to our individual channels as well, where we have our own subsystems and Patreons and all that kind of good stuff also. So please consider that. We are going to be here with you now until a little bit after 7 o'clock Eastern time, and then we are going to give way at that point. Flayos will be back later on today with Chasm the Rift on this channel, and I also want to mention that I will be on my own channel with a little bit later tonight with the my voice team, our vocalists, voicing a certain game that involves a rather prominent attorney at law, which is completely exactly the way the legal system works, and you may know it as Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. If you've never seen this game being played, wait till you see it played by professional voice actors. It is a ton of fun, so I'm excited for that. But that's going to be happening this evening. Today, however, we have got Talisman Adventures, and I'm going to mention one other thing about them. But to do that, I need to unmute myself, apologize to them unreservedly for anyone that I might have inadvertently interrupted because I can't hear them, and then gone over to them to reveal to you the Talisman Adventures crew. Here they are. They stand before you, or sit before you, I guess, in their various places, and they are ready to go. And I will mention before I introduce Pyron that next week I have announced officially today that one of the sponsors for my ArvCon charity convention to benefit the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation is our very own beloved GogCom, which will be sponsoring us. So we are very grateful to GogCom. Thank you for being one of the official sponsors, and thank you to Pyron Jade for helping spearhead that. And GOG is going to be well represented at the event, not just through sponsorship, but because 3 out of these 4 players will be joining me on that Saturday, the weekend, a week from this Saturday, basically, to play more of our Ghosts of Saltmarsh campaign. We will be joined by Inanda. It's going to be very exciting, and we will be doing it to raise money. I have, of course, thrown down the gauntlet that, we have this fun little intergroup rivalry thing about who actually raises the most money. This is my pure European crew, right? These are all European crew. So it'll be interesting to see if the European Union, if you will, can defeat the rest of the American entities that exist. In my mind, the European Union beat the Americans a long time ago, and we're just playing out the string. So I just think it would be great if we could actually see that in terms of money raised. I'm being mostly facetious. We're all raising money for Damon Runyon. That's what matters. But
remember, if you're watching earlier in the day and you want to donate, wait for us.
Yeah, exactly. Wait for it. There's this massive spike. It's going to be great. But I'm excited for it. And as I've said, thank you, Effect Life, for their resub. Thank you for subscribing at Tier 1. Effect Life, who is the inventor of Arvbot on my channel and is a awesome person. And also European, by the way. So yes, please stop by. It's a very important event. It's an event not just for the people that we've lost. This is dedicated this year to the memory of my oldest friend who passed away in January at the age of 51 of a rare form of bone cancer. I knew him for over 40 years, and he passed away as a result of this thing that they couldn't stop. So we do this in part for people like that, for all the friends and family members who have been touched by cancer, but also for the survivors. I've mentioned this on my own channel, but I will say again that somewhere between 10 to 15 years ago, glioblastoma was something on the order of 90% fatal in children. Now, today, that same glioblastoma diagnosis is 80% curable. So we've gone from 90% fatal to 80% curable in that group. That is a huge step forward, and that is directly due to cancer research, including that is being done by groups like Damon Runyon, which works directly with us. And they produced a video for us and the whole bit, and alongside another video being done by a certain person in this call. So anyway, this is a great crew. I'm very fortunate to have them with us, and I wanted to thank GOG publicly on GOGCom and thank Pyron Jade, who I will now introduce and say hi to. Pyron, again, thank you for spearheading stuff with GOG. How are you? How's life in the universe with you? And who are you playing today?
So about life and the universe, my older son has decided to learn the trombone.
Aha! Well done, brass instrument. That's well done.
There you go. And you always say like, hope when you switch this on, you always say, hopefully I'm not interrupting something. And we usually just, yeah, fine. But this time, I really would like to know what kind of instrument Bruce did learn in the end.
I learned the flute.
The metal sideways ones.
The metal sideways flute, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm not really good with English instrument names, so I wanted to be sure it's not like
the metal vertical flute as opposed to the metal sideways flute.
There are so many flutes. I just wanted to be sure. I know there's like this little thing, and then there's this thing, and then there's this, and I'm sure there are more. And it could have been a lute instead of a flute, so I wanted to be sure I got it right. So yeah, and tonight I'm going to be Regina Augusta III, who is on a path of righteousness and truth and will lead everybody with the light in her hand down into this tomb of the lady. And I'm very, very sorry for the tweet.
Considering that you asked me what to write in it, I find that's, I'm trying not to be offended. I'm really sorry that Arv said that. He doesn't know anything about words. So thanks for sending this. But yes, if you saw the tweet, if you were brought here by the tweet, make sure you put a 1 in the chat. Anyway, always a pleasure to have Pyron with us. Thank you, Pyron. Moving right down the line, thank you as always to Darksaber2K. I had a bit of a shock a moment ago, about 5 minutes ago, when I was turned away, not looking at the monitor where I have my Zoom chat. Yeah, exactly. And then Saber walked away for a minute. I looked over. I'm like, oh my God, Saber's become a skull, taking the metal life a little too seriously. But no, it turns out that was just his background. And he is still, fortunately, very much with us. It's good to see you, Saber. Thank you as always, Dashboard and Moobot. And how is life in the universe with you, and who are you playing?
Well, for the record, as a child, I learnt the violin.
Well, there you go.
And now you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been pretty good, yeah. I've been playing a lot of Unfortunate Spacemen with the community, which is a fun time of eating your friends and setting fire to your allies out of pure paranoia. Not that I would know anything about doing that. And yesterday, in no particular order, I fought a tiger, a bear, another tiger, and a chimpanzee in a power digger.
Okay. And
I'm not going to give any more context for that. Tonight, I'm going to be Reginald Shue, cool druid and graveyard keeper.
I'm just gonna, I feel like I need to now, on every level of this tomb, have you fight one of those same things again, because this is just like, wait, I said I wasn't going to do Kaylee context.
Wait, is it yesterday again?
How is this possible?
Feels like Monday.
Always a pleasure to have Saber with us. Thank you, Saber, very much. As always, moving right on down the line, we have the amazing Mike Smith, Peripheral Mike, who is responsible for many things on my channel and on this channel, including that amazing opening video that you just watched, chat. But speaking of videos, there is a video coming up that Mike is doing for a special live kickoff event that I have for ArvCon 2023 that I've already talked about. I'm very excited about that. You should give Mike all of your video information. The person who did the character art for us for Saltmarsh, whose name is Hannah, at Spectrum Stun Gun. By the way, you should send all your commissions to her because she's amazing. Hannah has just been finishing work for me on multiple fronts, and she sent me this invoice for one of them, and she's like, no rush. You've actually been sending me, I forget how she put it, something like, you've been shelling out big time for me lately. And I was like, yes, but this is all towards positive goals. And I feel like Hannah and Mike have been the ones I'm like, can you do another video for me, please, Mike? Can you please help me with the video? So Mike does amazing, amazing stuff, and I'm very grateful, and the work is awesome. And so with that in mind, Mike, how are you? How's life in the universe with you, and who are you playing today?
I genuinely really appreciate that. Thank you. That's warmed my heart. On a day when I was under an incredible amount of stress today, that's genuinely lightened my load a little bit. Out of anybody's interest, as a child, I learned the controller as an instrument of choice, which probably explains my current profession. Anyway, I am so excited for this live event. That's all I'm going to say. Every time I work on this project, every time I open this project, I'm just like, this is going to be so cool.
I'm
And I
excited
love
too.
projects like this. I absolutely love projects like this.
We just got the big inflatable 20-sided die we're using at the event to like roll out into the audience. I kid you not. I got it. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And then I'm like, so I start blowing into it. It's just like, and of course my oldest is just like, oh, it's a D20. I'm like, yes, I've trained you well. That's right.
Yes, excellent.
So when you get mysterious things in the post, you just blow into them?
Yeah,
I
without
wouldn't
even
do that.
looking, I just rip them up and I'm like, no, I don't do that. I don't. That's not. This one. Once I open it up, I'm like, wait, I think I know what this is, and I did see a number on it, so I figured.
Tell you what, I did receive recently. Talking to post, that's an excellent segue to the fact that I got a backers coin from your Kickstarter.
Oh,
campaign.
yay! Thank you for supporting
coin.
that.
I don't have it. I don't have it on me. It's downstairs because my
I do.
wife has stolen it.
That's what it looks like.
She likes. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. It's really nice. I wasn't expecting it, so I opened it and I'm like, "What the is this?" I'm like, "What? Who is this?" And then I realized it was the what's the name of the blade on the back?
It is a Kukuri.
The Kukuri.
A Kukuri.
Yeah, it was that, and I'm like, wait a minute, I've seen this before. So then it's what made me put two and two together.
Yep, Echo is one of those too, and I'm happy to see pictures with people using those for my
excellent.
Now I can say award-winning Gray Shade novel, silver medalist. So
hey, nice,
anyway,
fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
But tonight I'm going to be playing Lump, our world-wandering troll warrior. I keep forgetting which campaign I'm playing. Yes, he's definitely not a sorcerer.
No,
he's a world. Can you imagine? Good lord, can you imagine just Lump bullet train through the nearest enemy just immediately? Yeah, so he's had a bit of a rocky road. So he's had a bit of a tumultuous time recently, and he's not feeling his best, but he's determined to get people through the lady's tomb, so that everything hopefully goes back to the way it was, and characters stop, trying to start arguments and wander off and be like, screw you guys, I'm gonna take the talisman and go home. All this sort of shenanigans. So hopefully everything kind of settles down, and that's what he hopes anyway. Basically, finish the job, get paid, everyone's happy. So that's what he's hoping for.
Yeah, it's a good aspirational role play, as I always say, and I have no doubt that'll all be completely fulfilled when all is said and done. But thank you, Mike.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? But thank you, Mike. Thank you for everything. Thank you as well for the support of Gray Shade and for getting that coin. Moving right on down the line, of course, it is a pleasure to have Undeveloped Bruce with us as well. And Bruce, I realize that I promise I'm not always going to ask you this same question, but it really is your own fault. How are the dogs? That's your fault.
Ah, my days. No, they are so great. Moog she's got a high prey drive and is generally very highly strung. So I've been training her, helping her to stay calm in a variety of different environments with different animals and things around. And last week I took her to a nature park, and there was a big open field surrounded by woods full of squirrels. And we stood right in the middle of this field, and we just, on a long lead, she was just running round and round going, squirrel, 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 squirrel. And I just very patiently was just like, cool, yeah, you carry on, until she started just being like, yeah, it's a squirrel, mum, by the way, if you didn't know, it's a squirrel, can I have a sausage? Until, she'd calmed down and decided that she wanted to pay attention to me. And this is just major. Anyone who's got like a high prey drive dog, or a amped up anxious dog, the moment when that dog ignores triggers and just comes over to you for a treat is like,
it's a big deal. Yeah
Otherwise I'm doing all right too, thank you.
Listen, all I care about is the dog. No, how I was actually curious. I was curious how you were doing too, and who you're playing today.
Yeah, so I'm doing much better for being with all of you this evening. And I am playing Hweddle, Wed's Cragman, who's a dwarven minstrel come down from the crags
and he's just really angry at the moment. No external influences on this at all. It's, you know, all from his own heart.
Yeah.
He's just really fed up. I'm sure you'll hear more about it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, in no way was this created by any other condition or circumstance. Just, you know, suddenly it all came together, and what it was like, my default state is anger. So that's where we're at. It is always a pleasure to have Bruce with us. It's a pleasure to have all of the crew with us. And chat, let us talk a little bit as I fire up our music here. Let's talk a little bit about what happened in our last session. I think the appropriate one for this would be probably, let's throw on some Graveyard and maybe Cavern of Lost Souls. I think that seems appropriate. Let me turn that up a bit. There we go. Cavern of Lost Souls. Let's also make sure that we're looping that so we get that quite a bit. Okay, good. So we can set up the environment. No reason we have to worry about the Lost Souls part. That's just the title of the song. It doesn't have anything to do with anything else that you might face. In our last session, the party, which has been busily sent afield basically to recover this talisman. Now, you were all familiar, of course, I hope, if you're sitting in this chat now, with talismans. But this particular one had a particular emphasis, I guess you might say, in that it was designed to provide a kind of alignment consistency so that people would understand, you know, good and evil and the shades of gray that exist between them. And what we found ourselves with was that a group of people known as the Redeemers had come in and basically stolen this talisman, had killed a bunch of ghouls on the process, and then had left this spectacular city known as Sepulchre, and in the necropolis of Sepulchre, which is a massive, probably the largest in the realm, graveyard and then catacomb, basically, where a bunch of the bodies of the dead are kept. It is a sacred space for many people. Certainly Reginald would imagine it that way, I think. And yet the Redeemers managed to go in, and believing that these places were blights of evil that needed to be wiped from the land, they ended up taking this talisman. What they discovered quite clearly was that this was not really what they had bargained for, because the talisman began to work on them in subtle ways. It began to change the way that they were. It began to change their personalities and their moods. They took to fighting and quarreling with each other, and as we discovered in our last session, it may even have transformed several of them entirely into beasts, enormous beasts. I wonder if I still have this picture so I can show this off. Enormous beasts like that. There you go. It had transformed them this way, which was somewhat disconcerting, I would say, for the party when they realized that what they thought had been a beast that they had destroyed was, in fact, actually a human, a being of positive conditions, not necessarily just a ravening creature. But then again, the reason the Redeemers did all this in the first place was because of this rather cult-like belief that the ghouls were evil creatures that must be wiped from the land. And we all know, having gotten to know Reginald Chune, that that is not true in the least. So in a way, you could argue that the character was destiny, let's say, for this one. In any case, the party managed to track down and defeat not only one Redeemer, but a second one that had taken over, and managed to get from the party of Redeemers, those that were left, managed to take back the talisman and head back to the necropolis, where in Sepulchre, where they can actually bring this back to the bottom of what is called the Lady's Tomb. But it did not go all entirely to plan, at least so far, because there may have been some other ways in which that thing has worked upon the moods of others within the land, within the party even. There may have been a few who may have been somewhat affected by the existence of this charm. And so the party knows that it needs to get rid of this thing sooner rather than later. And so they have come into the Lady's Tomb. But just as they entered the Lady's Tomb, there was a significant, indeed a huge moment for the party, which happened as the talisman itself transformed suddenly into a blaze of brilliant multi-hued light. And what Regina found herself holding at the end of it was a magical sword with a braided blade of silver and ebony and gold with a copper handle. And the copper-handled sword had pointed into the depths, with Regina holding it, and had said, "Let us go." And so they basically were like, okay, I guess we've been told by a sword to go do it, so I guess that's what we have to do. Now, last thing that I'll mention just to the party as a whole is that there is a certain unpredictable nature to this weapon. I will tell you that the sword is a +2 magical weapon, Regina. So that's the first thing to keep in mind. It is a +2 magical damage weapon. Also, there are things that can happen if you use Light Fate to do the following items. One, if you use Light Fate, you can grant +2 to any allies attack and damage this round. That's called All for One. So you can use one of your Light Fate, Regina, to trigger that ability. You can also use one of your Light Fate to trigger what is called Directed Chaos. You roll 1d6, and you can choose to reduce damage that is received by you or an ally from a single attack by the amount that you rolled this round. So they get hit, you can then roll 1d6, and that amount can be reduced. So there's that. On a positive Kismet result, you may choose to do something with a creature that you have not yet met but will. I will explain that when we get there, but just be aware there's another triggered positive thing as a result of this weapon. There are, of course, it's not all good news. When I choose to use a Dark Fate, and I happen to have 4 of them, chat, Oops Slipped can come into play. What that means is when you get a failure on an attack, if I spend a Dark Fate, you deal half the damage you would have otherwise dealt to an adjacent ally or follower. So there's that. And, of course, there is also what is known as balanced scales. And that means that if the attack was successful and you get a Kismet fail, so like a 1, right, on that Kismet die, then half of the damage that has been dealt to the enemy is instead dealt to yourself. So there's many positive things that you can get from it, but also some negative things, which is in nature with a talisman itself, which shifts and changes and moves alignments around as its sort of power. So any questions, Regina? Does that all make sense?
Yeah, I'm like really tired, so I'm not going to remember all of this anyway. And I think that is completely in line with Regina. We're going to just fuck around and find out.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Just wanted to make sure. Okay. And the last thing I'll ask is just quickly a life check. So, Reginald, I have you at 22 out of 25 life coming in here. Okay. 2 out of 2 life for your Peddler's Cloak, I believe. Yep. Okay. And then who knows how many charges the wand has left. 7 out of 7 spell points. And I have you at, it's not 1 out of 8. You have 2 out of 8 light fate, is it?
2 out of 8, yeah.
Okay. Lump, I have you at 30 out of 30 life, 10 out of 12 armor, a helm, and then 1 out of 7 light fate. Is that all correct?
That sounds right. Can you just say how much health and armor I have? Because I've put them down as pips on my sheet, and I'm just going to write them down as a number.
Okay.
I can't bother counting them.
30 out of 30 for life.
Yeah, that looks right.
And 10 out of 12 for your armor.
Yeah, I've got a couple of slashes in that. Cool.
And then the helm, and then you've got 1 out of 7 light fate. Also, quick note, you're at -2 notice because of your helm.
Yep.
Because, helm.
Helm.
Okay. Yep. And then last but certainly not least, Hweddle. I have you at, actually, no, not quite last out of, not last but least because I have to go to Regina as well. But Hweddle, I have you at 32 out of 32 life. I have you at 2 out of 8 light fate and 4 out of 6 spell points. Is that all sound correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. And then Regina, I have you at 29 out of 30 life, 12 out of 12 armor.
Yep.
And are you 2 out of 8 light fate?
I am 2 out of 8 light fate.
Okay. Also, I'm 4 out of 4 dark fate, chat. Just wanted you all to know. I know I've already said it, but I thought I'd just bring it up again just in case. Anyway. Right. Okay. Now we have everything that we need to know. And so with that said, the sword is pointed forward, has said let's go, let us advance. And so I will now bring things over to the players. This is by the way, the map that you're all on. And I guess I should actually have you bring, let me see, let me copy these tokens so I can bring you over so you can move them down. Okay. Let me copy that and bring it over so that you folks can have actual tokens. All right, Hweddle, There's Lump. Let me just turn you facing the right direction. I like that since this is a 3-dimensional map, it looks now like most of you are just Spider-Manning it, like on the wall.
We need portrait versions of our
I know, I
characters
thought
like this.
about that, but based on what we just discussed, maybe that doesn't make earlier in the green room. Maybe that doesn't make sense now. Okay, so there we go. Okay, Reginald, now listen. All right, listen. If you do that, you have no one to
wonky.
You have no one to blame but yourself. If people are like, you are a horror ghoul. Okay, I'm just telling you right now. Like it's just, oh my goodness,
just a ghoul on the ceiling going.
just like. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you've heard that, you've seen this in front of you.
Ghouls on the ceiling.
Also, I should mention that you can see that those torches are in fact lit with some strange, must be obviously it's like some kind of ever burning kind of spell. So there is indeed light within the catacombs. Everything here looks dusty and ancient. There are cobwebs here on the walls and in the catacombs, and many things that are lying in state wrapped, basically. There are Draugr, and somewhere down below you hear Fus Rodan. No, you don't hear that. This is not Skyrim, but you are inside this catacomb. So, what would you like to do, players?
I have a question.
Sure, please.
We've just come in through the doors, but I see that there's sort of a mound of earth above. Are we underground?
Yes. This is built underground. The entire tomb of the lady is built underground.
So for once,
Awesome.
my green wise is not in effect.
And incidentally, Huedel, since I have a feeling this is what might be the next follow-up question, it may indeed be Dwarven manufacture. It's possible.
No, that wasn't the next question, but I was probably going to get there, so thank you. Yeah, I was just going to say that Huedel has tunnel sight for being a dwarf, so you can see underground as if it were outdoors at twilight, which is a dimly lit area, as defined in the Game Master's Guide.
Yep.
And torches and other sources of light do not affect this vision.
Nice. Okay, that'll be useful to know. Okay.
Yeah, if they all go out, I'm all right. I'm sorted.
Okay, cool. That is actually very useful. That is good information to know. Okay.
I also have a question.
Yes.
The magical glowing sword that I'm carrying, is it more like a sword or like a short sword?
It has scaled to your size, Regina.
Yeah,
So
but there would still be different types of swords.
No,
so...
it's probably a long sword for you. Not a short sword.
Okay. I hope there's not going to be like lightning strikes or anything. So, okay. Okay. I lift the glowing sword and I try to reach the front of the column and go and look like very elegant and regal, flying with my magic sword into the depth.
So you all see this dramatic, epic-looking sprite carrying a sword, lighting you forward. Technically, these are not super narrow, but they're not huge. So probably you're looking at, hey, Braxton Wise with the rate of 33. Thank you, Braxton. Good to see you, Braxton Wise, fellow GOG streamer. Thank you. Welcome, everybody coming from Braxton Wise's channel. And welcome to the Lady's Tomb that we have just entered. Thank you for the raid. So the hallway that you're on, or the ledge that you're on, I should say, is not super wide. It's not super narrow, but you could definitely go like 2 abreast probably, but probably not more than that. There is no railing, of course, on this. So while Regina doesn't have to care about it, the rest of you might want to, not be falling off the edge to the right, let's say.
Hey, Lump, can you just walk to the side of me here, please? Yeah, just right there. Just walk right there. Yeah.
Between you and the edge.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Unless you don't want to, of course. It depends. If our friendship means nothing to you, then carry on. I don't care. I'll have Reginald here. Hey, Reginald, do you want to know a shortcut down to the bottom? I could help you.
Why don't you demonstrate it?
Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you, Reginald? You'd like that.
Less disturbed graves that way.
Wed's very angry.
Well, I have good reason to be angry, all right? Now let's just carry on. This sword, go on then. We're supposed to go down, are we? Go on then.
I go on then.
Okay. So you can go ahead and move yourself to where you like. The stairs at the edge of this here sort of curve around and then descend even further. And I should say, by the way, that you have enough room to see like the next set of stairs down, but you can't see way far over. So in other words, there's like a wall. My point is there's like a wall that shows the ledge that you're on and the steps below, but not further out. So as I reveal more of the map, it's not like, wait, why didn't we see the rest of this? Because you couldn't see it because this is a cutaway view, basically, of the rest of it. So with that said, go ahead.
As Lump is walking around, he's also looking on the ground and these sort of places of rest. We were basically told we could rob these graves, right? But unlike other characters I play who will take anything not nailed down, Lump only really values pieces of gold and very obvious looking gemstones. So if there's any of that, I don't think there will be, he's just looking for essentially piles of gold coins.
I see. Okay. But not...
He's not going to know like a priceless antique.
Right. But he's not going to be like looking underneath like the bodies of the dead wrapped creatures.
This has been built up to him in his head. This has been built up to him like he will open the doors and gold will just spill out and then he can just carry whatever he wants basically. And now it's just like just a tomb.
I had this image for a minute that you were just going to be like picking up the thing like with one hand and then just being like, nope, no gold here, like
just check under the bodies.
Each corpse has one gold piece and a wooden spoon.
So you just get every...
No, he's looking. So if there's anything like obvious, he is obviously looking around, but in a very sort of like anyone would notice it sort of a way. Okay. He's not like picking dead people's pockets or anything like that.
All right.
And thoughts occurred to Reginald while Lump's searching. Does he have any knowledge about how protected these tombs might be? In terms of tripwires and pressure plates, oh my.
There are rumors that you have heard that they placed things to protect the dead from the depredations of the living. So it would not surprise you if such an extra security device, let us say, were to exist, Reginald. That seems like a fair point to make.
Be aware while you have leave to help yourself to what you find. There may be defenses against people less authorized.
Not looting, just picking up off ground.
Just warning you.
Okay.
Not threatening. He glares at Chweddle.
Chweddle is too busy glaring at the sword, talisman that he's not allowed to take to the city to be studied by the dwarves to prove the elves wrong because we gotta save the world instead.
Stupid world always needs saving.
Every single time we find a talisman, gotta save the world. Oh gosh, we've gotta turn these not let these people turn into wooden dolls. All right, well, one of them people is me, but whatever.
Also boots.
All right, yeah, no. Even in a very angry state, Chweddle is not angry at Boots in like any level at all.
I love that. You're just like, yeah, well, whatever. And we're just like, and also Boots. You're like, oh, yeah, fair.
Well, that's different.
Totally different.
Dogs have an entirely different pile of emotion in Chweddle.
They're immune for whatever you're going through right now. They're completely away from it.
Okay. As you make your way down, probably right about, I would say, here. You can actually move your tokens down, actually, while I'm thinking about it, down these stairs. With Regina still leading the way, I assume. I love watching these because the party's like, okay, right here. Stop for a sec, Regina. As you get here, you can see what look like 4 creatures in tattered clothing and kind of bluish grayish skin. They look a little familiar, actually. And they are right at about this spot here. They are tending to, or they seem to be like doing something with the wrapped body that is sitting inside that alcove. And you hear kind of a coming from them as you draw near. There are 4 of them that are currently have not seen you yet. They're facing the alcove.
Okay. So they're strangers at the moment.
Where at
Do
the
they
moment,
look? Do they look like ghouls?
they do seem to have a striking resemblance to ghouls. Yes.
Wonderful! I shout, "Hello, friends!"
I'm moving up to Regina as she's saying that, just in case this is a
Ghouls are-
non-violent
ghouls are
encounter with an undead
friends.
stranger where I'll get a benefit.
So
Ghouls are friends.
one of them turns around, and I have a picture actually, which I will reveal on stream.
It goes.
It's just like wrong, and then you hear dun 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 dun. Okay. You see this, and one of them turns in your direction,
Absolutely a friend. I've got lots of friends who look like that.
and you can see that
Yeah,
he's
same.
holding
Fair
what
enough.
looks like basically a scythe, more or less,
Gloria.
that you can see there, and the ghoul says, "Why have you come?"
I point smilingly to my glowing sword. I'm on a mission.
And so the one like looks over, and another one that's actually looks somewhat similar to this, although does not have the long hair. Kind of, they look at each other slowly and then turn back. And what mission?
Regina tries to remember. This sword wants to go down into the grave, which is the grave of the lady, and this is where the sword needs to go. And so we're just here helping the sword. I look over to my shoulder with Reginald. Right.
We're trying to restore balance to Sepulchre.
And one of
What
them,
he said.
and so this one, the first one, sort of catches sight of the sword, and it says, does that belong to the lady?
I look over my
that's
shoulder to Reginald.
debatable, isn't it? But I think we've all decided that it's going back to the lady no matter what anyone wants.
And the one behind, so they're standing in single file. The one behind this one kind of goes like to look around the other one at you, right? Like, and then the other one.
I look to Saber. Does it belong to the lady, or does it belong to Graveyard as a whole, or to the ghoul ship or something?
The lady asked us to return it.
The lady asked us to return it.
And again, the two look at each other, and then it is returning the balance, as you say. This is good, for we have already lost 2 of our number. And one of them picks up with the ghoulish strength with which Reginald certainly is familiar, and brings out a couple of the wrapped bodies, and you can see that they're not fully wrapped, and you can see that they both have what look like ghouls within them. And this one with the long hair says, "We are corpse collectors. It is our job to bring the dead to their final rest. But something here is wrong, and we have been attacked by those we were sworn to protect and guide. I will," and he kind of looks at the other, "if this one can bring our companions to the surface, I will guide you further."
Reginald
Which
looked
one?
around at the others.
Which one?
And it's the one that you actually see there, the first one who spoke. And
Oh, you mean yourself?
yes,
Oh.
I am Corellia.
Hi, Corellia. I look back at Reginald. You can die? Ghouls can die? You can die? You could have died all the time?
Yes. I tried to
Oh my
explain
God!
several times.
Yeah, but not like this. And I point like back to the wrapped creature.
I did die.
That's not
once.
good. Yeah, but you came over it, so I thought like it's not really a problem. That's really dangerous, you know.
I know.
Dangerous for all of us. Ghouls not undead.
It's complicated.
Do we want the ghouls to come with us? They could die.
They could.
Well, if I gotta risk my life for this thing, then they can as well. They got more stake in it.
Generally, ghouls aren't too concerned about dying. It's like changing a dress. The spirit
Well-
moves to a new neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
I say they come with us. What's a couple
friends in fight
more?
good.
Yeah, friends. Couple more friends.
Okay. I turn
Lum
back
just
to
looks
ghouls.
over at
Well, Cordelia.
I don't.
So you can come with us, ghoul friend.
I will accompany you, though my name is Corellia.
Yes, of course.
Cordelia was Lear's daughter and didn't make it. And the other one
Okay.
behind sort of nods solemnly.
Whoa. Huh. Lots of ghouls dying, huh? I look back at Reginald with worry. Well then, on we go.
We will go. And then the turns to her companion, who's now holding both of the wrapped bodies without much difficulty, and says, "Safe journeys to the top." And the other one says, "And you." And they pass each other, and you note that there's this sort of weird staring expression on the ghoul that's holding the bodies, and you all have to like take a moment and then be like squeeze up against the wall, because the ghoul is just like walking straight up the stairs, holding these bodies.
Wow, this is going to be a squeeze.
Yep. Exactly, but manages to do it. And you are left behind with Corellia, who is there. And Corellia says, "As we descend, take care. There are strange things about. Spirits are restless." And then looks at you, Reginald. "Surely you have sensed it."
I have, but it's been hard to focus with all the bird song and fluffy animals around.
And this Corellia says, "Yes, it has been deeply disturbing. Did you know that bunnies hop?"
I've seen them eat carrots too.
I liked the bunnies.
And Corellia just kind of stares at you for a minute, Lump, and then, "I do not understand the living," and turns around and moves down the stairs in front of you slowly. When you get to the second landing here, I guess I should probably add that person, shouldn't I? Let me add our corpse collector, Corellia.
Well, what are you doing? You just up on the wall then.
Corpse
It's Reginald who's driving
collector.
me up the wall.
Corpse collector Corellia.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, that is a...
Two sides. No, just kidding.
Gollum with a shovel. Excellent. Just what we need.
My precious.
Gollum with a shovel climbing down the wall
Yeah.
at us.
Oh, that is what it
Is
looks like.
everything
Yeah,
all right?
just scaling down the wall.
I'm not bothering you, am I?
It's a Souls-like boss. That's what the name reminds me of. Corpse Collector Corellia. It's a Souls boss.
Yes, that's true.
Yes.
If this were really Dark Souls at this point, I'd be like, ha, ha, hey, hey, ha, 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 ha. You know, like some.
We haven't gone through the
weird
fog
music.
door yet. It's fine. That's at the end. Of the
Yeah,
game.
right. That's right. Okay. Come on, reveal. You can do it. There we go. Okay. As you go, by the way, and you descend further and further, you all note, and I would say, Reginald, you may probably look at it with some level of professional involvement, like, it's very impressive work that they've done there with the, the fourth level of removal from this thing or that thing, or the second burial plot of whatever. Like, I saw that in Undertaker's magazine. Like, there's probably some cool stuff. For the rest of you, you notice that a lot of these bones and skeletons, you can even see them on the map here, are actually embedded in the dirt. And it looks to you as if they've basically been excavated, this dirt, to provide space for these areas. So when you look at the ceilings, it's almost as if you're looking at dead bodies that are probably centuries old that were gradually unearthed as the necropolis was being dug and was going even further and further, as this tomb, I should say, was going even further and further down into the ground.
I'll tell you what, this is not where I'd put a mine shaft.
There are no obvious piles of gold or gemstones just lying around.
So far, there have not been, no. Lots of dead bodies, though. But nothing obvious as far as gold is concerned.
But the sort of dead bodies that are supposed to be here.
Yeah. No,
Wait, you
yes,
said that
yes,
in a
yes.
really strange way.
Yeah, no. So far, apparently, although clearly the corpse collectors that they brought up, as they mentioned, were not supposed to be, like, they were attacked by something. So there's that. As you go down, Regina, you're going down just fine. The corpse collector is ahead of you. Weddle,
Look over the edge of the stairs as we get to the corner. Just look down.
Okay, sounds good. When you get to the edge of the stairs, you can see that the wall below, like the wall below this point, narrows considerably, Reginald, so it's actually hard to see what's below, as if the tomb was built like, this way, but as you go further, the sides are gradually like narrowing of the overall tomb. You're not sure why that is, but it does seem like the walls here are filled, they're taller, but narrower as you go along. So it seems to be narrowing as you go further, which is lovely for any of you who happen to have claustrophobia in the earth. Just saying it. That's great. That does wonders for you.
Technically, I'm in an interesting position of being a ghoul, but also a druid.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah, not a lot of natural stuff here to be found. So Regina, you're going along your merry way. Corellia is trying to maintain control, and Corellia is behind you, and then says, Weddle, as you get to that step, says, "Stop."
Weddle would like to stop, please.
And
Regina turns around. Do you mean me?
Why, is your name Weddle?
Did she say Rattle?
No.
I just imagined it. Carry on.
It's all about Weddle.
It's a good thing that everybody stopped,
sometimes it has to be about Weddle. It can't all be about Reginald and about the blinking... I can't even remember what you called now. Not undead.
Oh, angry, I can't remember your species.
If only I could remember what you were called.
Are you all right? Because he's a ghoul. We knew this. I know it.
Ghoul, that's the one. Everything's all about the ghouls. Sometimes.
No, it's usually it's about me.
Yeah, that's fair.
But she Corellia turns back in your direction and points at the step right below where you are, Weddle, and says, "There, you must take care." Now, Weddle, you
could
could
you
certainly...
be more specific?
Death.
Yeah, all right. That's enough.
And points at the step. Now, if you want, you can make a notice test for me, please, Weddle. And we will see whether or not we found what we found. And in case you're curious, anybody in chat about how this works, using the handy-dandy Talisman RPG skill checks flowchart provided to us by Pyronjade, the question is, do you have the notice skill?
No.
If you do not have it, then simply roll 3d6. Aha, okay. Hi, Grows. I haven't seen you in a long time. What's up, Grows? Good to see you. Okay. So you look down, Weddle, and you're just like, okay, it's a step. Like, what? What is the big deal? And Corellia just stands there, impassively pointing down at that step.
You get live fate, though, so there's that.
Yeah. Well, clearly there's something wrong with this step, but I can't see it. Friend, Lump, that's the one. When I get angry, God, I can't remember anyone's names. Lump, can you help me a sec here? These steps look pretty wide. They're like wider than I am tall. Lump, can you chuck me over, please?
I get out of the way.
So
Just
I'm looking
like
over
past
at
this step.
Corellia as
a
well,
step
who
back.
is past that step, correct?
Right. Corellia walked over that step with 0 effect, but is pointing at the step as you get there.
And I heard, did I hear Corellia say stop?
Yes. In fact, you heard stop.
I stand here in front of, and it is this step, correct?
It is. I think I said it was this step, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, is it this one? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll look over at Corellia. Why stop?
Corellia, having her, hand still pointed at the pit, says, "A trap for the unaware." And then pauses and then adds helpfully, "There are spikes."
Oh, so she'll give the information to Lump when Lump asks, but all I get is death.
And she looks at you and then is like, "Also death."
Lots of death. Okay.
High flying beat.
Am I in the... I ask in a worry tone, am I in the unaware?
And Corellia sort of looks back at you and says, "You are unaware, but you hold the talisman.
Yes.
And you are not touching the ground."
Never.
And then begins to turn away and then over her shoulder says, "But be careful of falling rocks." And then turns back away from you.
I look upwards. Do I see any falling rocks?
On the edges of your vision, or is that just an illusion? While you're thinking about that, so you don't see anything at the moment. Okay, so Weddle's on one side with Lump. How do you folks want to proceed? What?
Yeah,
and
I'm behind
Reginald,
Lump at
yes.
the moment.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
caught up after my little look down.
That's right.
Well, if Lump's not going to chuck me, then I'm going to jump over to the next step.
Did Weddle say that out loud?
No, he's too angry to speak out loud. He's given Lump a silent 10 seconds to throw after I said throw, and he's not done it, so there we go then. Lump obviously doesn't care about Weddle anymore. Their friendship is over.
Cool. Okay. Just so I know what's going on here.
Okay.
I don't actually know how big this step is. Is it easy to jump onto the next one?
It's a pretty decent sized step. We're talking about a 10-foot jump. So
Okay, I take it back. 10
Well,
feet.
you know.
I retcon this.
Yeah.
Wait, Prince of Persia style. That never
jump.
happened.
Exactly.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
so you could, I mean, like, Corellia has not given you any suggestions yet. You do have this sort of you have this here. You have the tomb, this kind of alcove thing in the wall that has a body in it, but you could theoretically climb up there, go over, and then let yourself down, or you could think of another method of getting across that step.
I'm going to ask Corellia, is there way through or disable?
As long as you are aware, you can avoid this trap, or you could trigger it. Then it will be disabled for everyone else. Of course, you will be at the bottom of the pit.
How can be aware?
I have made you aware. All this time has been pointing directly at the same step and has not moved. Other than to like move
Pointing
her
at
body.
the step or pointing at a spot on the step?
No, pointing at the step. Now, it does look to be about the middle of the step, roughly speaking.
I want to be helpful. I'll also stare at the step.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say I'll also point at the step.
No, I've got the sword. That would look stupid. I can't have that. So can I use a notice check to see if I find out? Because like I have like wits 1, so I can add 1 to my 3-die roll.
Sure.
And
you can
have
do that.
better chances.
3d6 plus your aspect, which would be 1.
Yes, because it's wits and I've got...
While you're rolling that, I'm just going to turn to Weddle and say, don't want throw, might miss, might slip, and sort of motions to the fact that there's no railing on the side of the stairs.
Mm-hmm. It looks like a step to you, Regina.
Okay, I will not let anybody know that I found out nothing, and I'll just continue staring and see if anybody resolves this problem.
Well, Reginald will look, since everyone's very interested in this step.
Okay.
May as well.
Go ahead and make a notice
just
check.
Stare at the floor.
And Lump.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and throw a light fate at it for an extra d6.
Okay.
Because why not? That's the wrong type of dice.
I was going to say, wow, you get a 40. You see all through all things.
You can see the code, man.
I'll drop that 1 for a 17.
17. Yes, you can see what looks like the faintest, almost like an outline in the dust. You almost a discoloration, really. But it traces out an area that's about maybe 5 feet or so square in the middle of the 10-foot-ish square. It might be like 9 feet for the step, but the square itself is about 5 feet that you can see, in square, that you can see on top of that surface.
Did we notice where Corellia stepped on the step?
I don't think you would have necessarily known that ahead of
no.
time. Yeah, because you would have mentioned that you were looking to see exactly where Corellia steps.
Although, I'm going to step on the edge, not in the marked out area in the middle.
Okay, nothing happens.
And then I'm going to step forward again. And I'm not going to say anything.
Are you... Now, wait. Before you step forward, how are you stepping forward? Like, you stepped on the edge.
Stepped on the edge onto the next step. No, because you said it's in the middle.
Right, exactly.
So I'm on the outside of the step,
Correct.
not on the bit that's
right
out.
right now you're in the bit before you get to the step. You could, it's right in the center of the square, so you could squeeze to the left or squeeze to the right or jump over the square, basically.
Right. I think I'll squeeze.
It's funny, Bruno. Okay.
To the right.
Okay. So there's this moment where you're doing this and you can feel like, your back is not touching anything on the other side, as you can, hear. At one point, a little bit of a pebble gets moved and you hear this toot, 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 toot. And then you hear doof, 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 doof. No, I'm just kidding. You don't actually hear that. You don't hear drums in the deep, but you do hear a pebble falling. And when you get to the other side, Corellia looks at you and says, "You are one of the ghouls?"
I am a ghoul from the city.
What gave it away?
Do you take care of the dead?
Hang on, what was my thing called again? I am a shepherd of the dead.
Then you had nothing to fear from the trap. And like, then goes back to looking right at the square.
All right.
I'd suspected, but not enough to risk it.
Okay.
None of that was helpful to us. So Hweddle's going to assume that, Reginald's didn't find anything, and he's just done, ghoul things. Ghouls keeping their secrets from the rest of us, and he's going to climb up onto the ledge with the dead body, please, and work his way across.
That sounds to me like we are looking at a skill test. Let's see. I'm thinking that we're looking at... I think that's an athletics check, I would say. So let me have you make an athletics check. This is based on agility. So, have you the athletics skill?
No.
Then 3d6, please.
Alrighty. Roll 3d6. It's a good thing Hweddle's got an amazing track record with athletics check and has never ever fallen down steep hills and rolled and flopped down on the moss at the bottom.
Yeah.
Have some dark fate.
I will take that dark fate, and I will take that 7. So Bruce, you're kind of sorry, beg your pardon, Hweddle. I don't know who Bruce is. Hweddle's making his way across, and then there is a moment where Hweddle is like, "Hut, hut, hut," and then you hear behind you. And you feel...
I think you just terrified Bruce.
A massive chill.
Just terrified by dogs.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right, Milk.
I apologize, dogs. I give you virtual treats. I'm so sorry that I terrified. I don't want to terrify any of my players. I mean, in-game terror is fine. Outside of terror, I apologize. And you feel this horrific chill, Hweddle. And Corellia says, "That may have been a mistake." And coming from out of the wall, next to Bruce, I don't keep saying Bruce because I was thinking about Bruce being frightened and then the dogs being frightened, particularly the dogs. Coming right out from next to Hweddle, you see the following. Just one moment.
Is this a good time to tell everyone that the person that doesn't exist, Bruce, has an actual, real life fear of zombies and the undead? Could not complete any parts of Skyrim with a particular type of enemy.
Oh, no.
This is going to be a good
I'll
session.
sympathize in arachnophobia with Skyrim, also have problems because of that.
I just will gently put back the one that I thought I was going to use then and be like, okay, yeah, this is perfect.
Friendlyzombie.jpg, please.
Did I hear Corellia say that might have been a mistake?
Yes.
I mean, to be fair, we do tend to hear that a lot.
I hold up the sword and brightly say, "We don't make mistakes, we have happy little accidents."
And coming from, I think this would be the other one. Nope, right there. Okay. 5 of these wispy-like, spirit-like things emerge from the wall. And they pass by, and Corellia says, "These were the same that killed my companions." And the creatures themselves look to be... I have a picture. I didn't realize I did. Now, okay, yeah, Bruce. In all seriousness, like maybe Bruce. I'll just show this briefly to the other players, but Bruce, you can cover your eyes because I don't want to.
Shouldn't have been spiteful about noticing the trigger point.
I don't want nightmares for anybody. Okay, so I will show this for the benefit of chat and for the players, and I will tell you when it's safe to look. Okay, there we go. I'm not safe yet. Okay. So now if I bring this up here, still not safe to look, showing now to the rest of the crew.
Obviously making sure we allow for delays in stream.
Yeah. Well, this is why I'm saying I don't want to be like, okay, everything's good. And I'm like, no, it's not good. Okay, there we go. This is what they look like. And the creature, as it passes out of the wall here, has this strange hollowed expression. Reginald, you've seen ghosts before, of course. You've encountered them before, both good and bad ones. But these ones swirl about, and the expression that you would see on the face looks to be one of confusion. And probably, I don't know that anyone else hears this, but Reginald certainly does. You hear, "Where am I?" And now we are going to move into combat, as I have now removed the picture. You're all good now, Bruce. You are fine. Just the icons on the map, which I hope are okay. I don't think those are too bad.
That's
okay.
right. They look a little bit like Sweetie wrappers, to be honest with you.
Well, that's clearly what they... No.
Yep.
All right, let's fire up some music here. Let's go with this. Although I'm tempted to play Zombie Chase by Kevin MacLeod for this, but no, we will have this as our combat music. Okay, so what we've got here is 5 of these spirits, which Corellia calls out to you, are called sepulcher spirits. They're spirits that come from this place, but they do in fact seem, again, confused. Might be a better way to put it. They look just sort of disoriented, might be a way to put it, but they are quite clearly dangerous. So I'm going to put them up here.
I'm definitely going to need some magic gloves one of these days.
Right, okay. And there's 5 of them, right? Okay, good. Wonderful. Okay, now, once again, for those of you who are not familiar with this combat system, the players get to decide what order they would like their characters to go in this combat, and the enemies react largely to what the players do. If there are enemies at the end that have not been engaged by any of the players, then by any of the characters, then they will act separately. But otherwise, the enemies basically act simultaneously on the round of the players, depending on what the players do. So I'm going to ask then, how would the party like to organize themselves? Who would like to go first, second, third, etc.?
I would like to go first and get off the shelf and onto not the trapped step as soon as possible.
Okay.
In that case, I would like to go second and maybe try to, I don't know, talk to them using the talisman. Like they were like, "Where am I?" Maybe I can just tell them where they are.
Okay.
I was
Maybe
going to
that's
do
like
something similar as well, because I can converse with spirits that are otherwise mute, which might be useful. Plus, you know, I am a soul keeper, which means I have to send souls to whatever fate awaits them.
Fair enough.
So they're confused. Yeah, the where
Well,
am I's,
the expressions look confused, and you heard what they said, but
yes.
So yeah. Lump, what about you?
Lump's probably just going to stay there. Are any of them within arm's reach?
Yes, I would say the one that's right next to you on the step actually probably is on the lower level there.
If it's uncomfortably close, he's going to do this whole sort of like batting smoke away. He's not like attacking it, but he's just sort of like...
Gotcha. Okay. All right, so we have then Opetl going first. We have Regina going second. We have got Reginald, I think, going third, if I understood that properly.
Mm-hmm.
And then last but certainly not least, we have got Lump. Okay. All right. First up is Weddle. So you want to try to get off this shelf. Are you attacking anything first, Weddle? Or are you just...
Absolutely not.
Okay. So you're just getting onto the ledge. Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you to make another one of those handy-dandy athletics checks that that led us into this position in the first place. So we will do that first. Welcome, imaginary exponent.
I'd like to use a light fate to give myself an extra die. Is that a thing? How it works? I can't remember.
I think
That's a thing that you can do with light fate.
You
Yes.
can do that with light fate. Yeah, but I'm trying to make sure about can you do that on an ability check, not just a combat roll?
Yep, you can.
Yep, 100%.
Absolutely.
Is this you saying yes, you can because you actually know, or because you're playing?
No, you.
I know.
No, yeah.
No, we know. We know.
I've done it before. Hopefully you can because
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yeah, you can. Yep, I just want to confirm. Okay, right, lovely. So yes, you can do that. Okay, so you will use one of your light fate to give you the extra die, bringing you to 2 out of 8 light fate.
Oh. So I either get rid of the 4 and have a double 3 and a 6, or I get rid of a 3 and have one more of the points. So it's either a 12 or a 13. If it turns out I needed 13, then I'll be really annoyed.
You're going to be
but
upset, yes.
Having a better success is probably better than the threshold of the 1, so I'll get rid of the 4 and go 3, 3, 6.
Turns out that was the right decision. Yes, that turns out because that is enough to pass and you get the great success as a result. So that means that you were able to slide off the ledge and basically land on the other end of the pit. I mean, not on the same step as the pit, I assume, to land there without having triggered any attacks or anything else. So you're now on the step with Corellia and with Reginald and Regina behind you by just a little bit. So you're now there.
My foot.
Yeah, you have landed full on. Okay. Okay.
Lump, jump.
Okay. Speaking
Sounds
of
like
Lump,
a chant.
we'll come to Lump in a minute. That's all you're going to be able to do on this turn, though, because you had your attention focused on trying not to fall off to your death. Okay. Next up is Regina.
I lift the sword, so I move in front of them, of my other people, and so that I'm closer to the ghost thingies, and I lift the sword in front of me so they hopefully can see this, and I shout, "This is a talisman, and you're in the lady's tomb. That's where you are. You're in sepulcher in the lady's tomb next to a talisman."
Okay. Let's see. What do I want to give this for? Let me have you make a persuasion check, please. And you're using the sword basically as a part to make this persuasion. So the good news is I'm going to give you a +2. The bad news is that this is potentially a dark fate / kismet mess up situation, like we talked about with the sword.
Well, I've decided to do this, so I can't really. I think nobody's going to be surprised that I don't have persuasion. So,
I'm persuading you with the might of myself.
Yeah.
No. You're so persuasive, though.
3d6 +2 it is then. Okay, let's see. Oh, wait, maybe I should use a light fate to give me an extra die, because just in case this works, this might be nice.
Okay.
I dropped the 1 for a 14.
So a total of 14. A total of 14. So you do all of this, and I don't believe we get anything that gets triggered there. So at least not initially. You say this, and the creatures kind of swirl about for a minute, and then say, "We are lost." And basically does not seem to work. They are going to lash out. But before they do that, this was sadly a failure on check. And that means I am sadly going to use a Dark Fate to trigger the negative result in the sword's usage. So, well, it's not a failure on attack, though.
I was definitely absolutely not attacking.
No, you were not attacking. All right, I take that back. I won't do that. But it does mean that you are going to get attacked by one of the creatures on this failure, but it will not be because of the sword. So one of the creatures is going to attempt to hit you. And so this is them actually acting a little bit before they normally would because of the particular way in which this all went down. Okay, I would like you please to make because what they're going to do is, this is not going to affect you. So they're going to attack you using,
yes.
Sorry, I have a million different notes. Okay, there we go. They're going to attack you, and they're going to do this psychically. So what I'm going to need you to make is, I need you to make a defense for psychic combat, which uses wits. So first of all, I know Reginald has this. You do not have psychic combat, I'm pretty confident.
Yes. Regina's, psychic abilities. I've got wits 1, so...
So then it's just going to be 3d6 that you're going to be using to see if you
I'm not getting the 1.
Getting to make this
Oh,
test.
3d6 roll. That is very much in line with the character, I would say.
I will accept that that Dark Fate, and I will also say that, let's see, what have they done here? So, all right, means that you are going to take damage. Now, the problem with psychic attacks, as you may know, is that they ignore armor. So they just go straight through. So you feel a terrible chill enter your body. And you are going to take 9 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
And I'm going to use one of those Dark Fates. I need you to make an athletics check because it's also trying to shove you. You feel this overwhelming force to try to push you away.
I do have athletics.
Yes.
So is it brawn, agility, or metal?
Brawn.
Of course it is brawn.
I'll give you a little bit of a either or though. You can make this agility instead, in which case brawn would allow you to resist being pushed at all. Agility means that I'll allow you, if it succeeds, to decide which direction you are pushed. So you can alter the direction you're pushed.
Well, let's go with agility.
Okay.
Okay. Flop. Wow, I'm really good at rolling today. Amazing.
That is not, I'm afraid, going to get it done. So you are pushed. Now, these creatures, what they do is they push you, and you are basically, from where you're positioned, you're basically flying right over the pit, essentially, or where the trap would have been. It hasn't been triggered or anything. So they push you, and they basically push you all the way until you slam into the wall opposite. Because remember, I mentioned the walls are narrowing here on the other side. This is like a cutaway view. So they're narrowing here, so you get slammed into the wall. Which means, now this is going to be able to be mitigated by armor. You're going to take an additional 3 points of damage, but this is physical damage that can be mitigated by armor. So you can take
let's mitigate with armor.
Okay.
So I then use 3 armor points, was it?
That's right. And
one of them is
Yep.
Okay, I go and slam into the wall.
Yep. Okay. So, and then Corellia says, "They may not listen." As you're like, kind of unwinding your neck from where it was slammed into the wall. Okay, that's going to lead us to the third person on the list, which was Reginald.
In spite of what Corelli has just said, Reginald's going to take a firm grip on his scythe handle, and he's just going to put his hand out towards the spirits, and he says, "Your spirits have been freed from your mortal anchors. Tether yourselves not to a twisted unlife. Follow the pull of fate."
Okay, let me have you make a persuasion check, please. I'll give you this at... I gave you this persuasion check, Regina, 2, right? +2 before? When it was you? I think I'm going to give you the same, Reginald. Regina got some of that because of the benefit of the talisman. You get it because of being a shepherd of the dead.
Okay. I'm going to use my other light fate, I think.
And Regina should be at 1 out of 8 light fate, by the way, while I'm keeping track. Okay.
Yeah, that's putting me down to 0 for now.
0 light fate.
I will drop that 2 for a 15.
Yes, so that is actually a success. And it's a great success. So one of the creatures sort of stops and is... And they're kind of like not moving and sort of shifting around. The effect of this is that this creature at the moment is sort of like in D&D we would call it stunned, but here basically it means that these creatures, if you attack this one or if you try to do something to this one, it will not fight back, at least for this round. Now it has an opportunity, it may end up sort of, you don't know how long this effect will last. It does not appear as if your persuasion is enough to convince them to stop attacking you, at least from what you can tell, but at least it has sort of stunned it in indecision. So that's one creature that will not attack back at the end of this round, one way or the other.
Okay, well, I'll take that.
Yeah. And you're going to stay in the same approximate place, Reginald?
Might shuffle a step down here just because it's getting a bit crowded on the steps, just to give people shuffling room.
Okay. All right. Well, that will lead us to Lump. So you have seen and heard what has happened, Lump. So what would you like to do?
Yep, Lump is still... They've not attacked me yet, so I'm not going to openly attack them, and it's just sort of... There's one uncomfortably... Oh, wait, no, they did attack Regina, didn't they?
They did.
Oh, okay.
Regina tried to persuade them unsuccessfully.
Well, I talked to them, then I screamed and got shoved into a wall.
Yeah. Could be that she just did that on her own. I mean,
I mean, it's not a normal tactic I've seen her use, but it's not something I've not seen her use.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Lump is going to turn to the closest one to him and do like a... He's still been doing the sort of... Go away. And now it's getting closer and closer. He's like, go away, and slams both his hands onto it, trying to sort of dispel all the smoke and stuff.
Okay. So, let's see.
This is going so badly.
Do you have...
I'm so meaty.
I'm trying to be... and I'm trying to be clear about this, too. So, your hands, your fists here, because you're basically doing this as kind of like a, right, unarmed attack.
It's going to be a melee attack.
Your hands, though, do not count as magical, correct?
Not yet, no. I knew I should have bought some magic gloves.
Do you have a psychic damage modifier at all?
If I do, it's the base one, which I want to say is wits, though I can't remember.
Yeah, wits would probably be right.
Yeah, I've not... Yeah, that will be what I've got.
Okay.
So my wits will be... Please stand by. 1.
Okay. So, we will see what damage gets done here. So, Okay, so, because any character can initiate a psychic attack against an enemy of this nature.
That's just what Saber just said in the group chat. what
Yep.
it's worth, any character can initiate a psychic attack
Yeah, I
against
was just
spirits,
fact checking
but
myself
without
as well, but I
psychic.
know I read that because
Yep.
I shared that previously.
No, it's true. You can do that. The issue really is the fact that and it ignores armor and all that kind of stuff. However, there is sort of a situation that we'll talk about this. So what I need you to do is
They're immune to psychic.
you're going to be doing 3d6 plus your wits benefit there, so +1
Okay.
against this creature.
Okay. Just to be perfectly clear, I am physically going to be clapping his
Yep.
hands, but this is a psychic attack.
Yep. I just figured you were sort of doing the flavor text of, channeling your
100%.
psychic will through your hands.
Yeah, pretty much. As far as Lump is concerned, if this hurts it, he's hurt it with his fists, but he's probably like willing himself to hurt it.
Mhm.
That makes sense. So 3d6 plus wits.
Yes.
3d6 plus wits. That's an 11, and you get a dark fate.
Dark fate. Okay. So, two things to note. The first is that is sadly not going to hit. So,
Not a shock.
that would be that normally that an opponent inflicts psychic damage on you, or in this particular ability, it means that you are about to be shoved. So,
Nice.
slamming back into you, almost with the force of your own hands, you can feel this massive force being directed against you. I need you to make an athletics test. This is brawn to resist being pushed, or you could do agility, which is what Regina did, to decide which direction.
No, I'll cut you off there. No, not
Okay.
doing agility. I'm 100% going to do brawn. So, athletics. Yep. So 3d6 plus brawn.
Seriously, Arudno.
Hang on a minute. Does this count as? This is not a melee defense test, is it?
No.
No. Cool. There
No,
you
it
go.
is not.
It is a 21.
Okay. So, you do manage to resist the effects. You're going to take damage anyway, but you are not going to be shoved backwards or towards something that would be
Good.
unfortunate. So that was good stuff. Okay. Now the damage that it does to you, sadly, on the miss though, on your miss, is psychic damage, which, as we've all learned, ignores armor.
Ignores armor.
Ugh. 10 points of psychic damage as you are
Jesus.
slammed in the brain, so to speak, by this thing.
Okay. You just hear a loud guttural grunt from Lump.
Okay. And let's see. Okay, now this creature actually is, let's see. I don't need that benefit. Oh, I see. I was like, why are you showing yourself in a particular way? Because you do have an ally here. And it is a corpse collector.
Did we leave the Argonian barmaid behind, or is she following Lump?
No, she left.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Alette left. She got the same time that Weddle started being really angry. Alette just up and walked away.
Man, Lump's not having a great time, is he?
It's about to get worse.
You ain't seen nothing yet. No,
Yeah, I don't know how tall this cavern is.
If the corpse collector now just takes one of the skulls and stuffs it like in a pocket or something, like collect ghost, I'm gonna be very impressed.
This corpse collector better have banished multiple ghosts. That's all I'm saying.
So,
That's more
Yeah.
my thing.
they
Because guess who's not skilled in swords?
well, so one of them actually, it's funny you mentioned that, because one of their abilities is called something called Destroyer of the Dead. And I would say that probably only Reginald sees
That'll do.
Corellia's expression when she does this, but there is this moment of, I would say, great sadness, perhaps, that crosses over Corellia's face. And then she holds up her scythe and she says, "This is to protect all." And Her scythe glows. I want you all chat to those of you who are fans of The Mandalorian, which should be all of you, to think a little bit about what the dark saber looks like in comparison to a lightsaber. This darkness consumes the blade and then goes directly towards, in a beam, one of these creatures. Exactly, this dark saber actually turns into Dark Saber 2K, yes. And it is just hits it. There is this wail, and then it is atomized and gone, and destroyed. And Corellia looks at all of you and says, "That is the only time I can do that. Until tomorrow." And
utterly useless.
Utterly useless.
Utterly useless. We need at least 5 more in the bank. Somebody get
Look,
Corellia
if you were
arrested
really
now.
good, okay, you would, yeah.
Right,
Thanks
so
for
I got a
nothing.
plan. I will carry
Top of the
Corellia.
round.
We all scatter and we come back tomorrow.
But this will take 4
And then-
days, but over the 4
Yeah.
days. Oh my gosh.
Push Corellia in like a canary.
I don't think I knew,
And then
Saber, I
pull
don't
her
think
out.
I knew that. That's really awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, from the stripped down Death Star
Yeah, yeah,
laser
yeah.
one.
Yep. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. Okay, so we're
Yeah,
at
and
the
then
top-
everyone started to. I wondered why it was trending all of a sudden the last couple of years, and found out. I was like, oh, I'm in trouble.
You're trending. Like, that's all.
Disney, don't break my kneecaps, please.
They're like, all right, who here was foolish enough to choose you? Okay. Hey, Izzy's. Okay, so we're at the top of the round again. So you can all decide. Apparently, Corellia has done what Corellia can, at least for the moment. So there are 4 of these creatures left. What order would the 4 of you like to do this in?
So I've got an action I want to take, but it won't be an offensive action, and it would be the only thing I could do this turn. But I'd like to drink my Psychic Power Potion, which will last for 2d6 rounds. It would give me +2 bonus to any craft-related tests and +2 damage on psychic attacks.
Seems
So I think
reasonable.
getting that out of the way at this point might be a good idea. So I'd chug that.
And then you just bolt down the stairs before it runs out, right? Like after we're out of
Yeah,
combat,
I'll
like,
run down, one-shot the boss,
Yeah,
come back
exactly.
and help you guys with the rest of it.
Okay, so you can do that. It's up to you what order you folks want to go in.
Yeah, I think probably last for me on that one.
Okay.
Makes sense, since that's all I'm going to be doing anyway.
All
Yeah,
right.
and just in case something else goes sideways, we still have you like with your magic in the, like in the
Also
rear.
that.
So that would be good. I would need to know whether the sword is a great sword, short sword, or just a sword.
It's a
Because
long
this
sword.
it's not long sword is not on the list. We have short sword, sword, and great sword.
Then it's a sword.
It's a sword.
Yes.
Okay, then I need to calculate some things. Be right.
Okay. While the calculations are happening, do we have a sense of when Lump and when Huedel would like to go?
I don't think it's going to matter when Lump goes. He's not going to be very effective right now unless he, I don't know, is there a magic vase I can use as an improvised weapon? I'm not touching the walls. We've learned that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's
unless-
tricky, right? Because Lump is the only one now that's stuck on the other side of the trap.
True.
That's
the
true,
rest
but I
of
could
us
just
have-
jump.
Hmm.
Like it is a
I've-
10-foot gap, but I could definitely jump. I just didn't want to throw another player.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and
So
you
we could
don't.
do a
and
lump jump,
The
is what
the
we're
only
talking
other,
about.
yeah, the only other character that wanted to jump was Weddle, and Weddle doesn't have athletics. So, I have athletics and climbing as well. So if I take a tumble, there's a chance I could just hook my hand onto the edge. It's not a big chance, but it's a chance. And failing that, I still have a potion of flight in my back pocket. So. From the previous adventure that I never chugged.
Wow.
Okay. I could go first, and I would like to actually try to attack with the magic sword, but I would like to switch it to my weapon hand and carry a spear in the other hand because I'm very unsure about all of this.
Okay, so you got a sword and a spear. Okay.
Yeah, like this, and then I would like to go first and actually attack a ghost.
Okay, so we've got Regina 1. And we have got Reginald 4. So that means Sweddle and Lump 2 versus 3. Who wants to go second?
I
and
will go
third?
last.
So you will go third. So are you cool? Who'll go in second?
Yes.
Okay. So, all right, let's go with Regina. You were up then. You will be up first.
Okay. I do not have swords, but I do have melee, and I just looked it up. It would be brawn for a normal sword. So let's see. Do I get I don't get an attack bonus of any kind. Okay, so it's just 3d6 plus brawn as far as I see it.
Using your melee attack, yes.
Yes, using my melee attack with the magic sword weapon.
Yes. Very helpful that it is magic.
And, yeah, we don't have a ghost that is hurt or anything. I forgot to use Tactician at the start of the combat, so we're just going in like this. But I'm gonna spend Dark Fate so I can...
Oh, thank you.
So I can use a thingy. There we go.
I was joking about you using Dark Fate.
It's not what she meant.
No, I know. I was just kidding.
I
Look at that.
I have to drop the 4, which is ridiculous, so it's an 18.
That will absolutely hit. I probably should have
Okay.
pumped up their threat a little
Wabam.
bit, but even so. Okay.
Okay, I can apparently use a sword. I didn't know this, but Regina knows this now and will consider this as her weapon in the future.
Okay.
And so I've got an offhand weapon that gives +2. It's a magic weapon that's another +2. It's a great success, so I can also add my agility, so +2 plus 2 is 4, agility is 6, so it's 1d6 plus 10.
Now, do you want to use, just because you mentioned you weren't sure about this, do you want to use a one of your light fate to gain an additional +2 because of the sword? Because it does have this...
No.
Sorry?
Oh, I don't have another light fate left, so I can't.
Well, then you can't. Never mind.
So it's a 1d6 plus 10 should be, if I calculate it correctly,
Okay.
with this. Yeah. No, wait. Your offhand weapon adds 2 to your main weapon's damage when your attack gets a standard success. If you roll a great success or better, you add agility. So this but I get another
great
plus
success.
2.
Yeah.
Okay, but 200 master gets 2, so it's correct. 1d6 plus 10 is correct because I get an. Okay, got it.
Okay.
16.
Wow. You
Bam.
so you hit this thing and it gives a wail and is destroyed.
Yeah, so I
as you
push
hit it.
myself off the wall that I'm in, like with the sword in front of me, like, and just fly directly at the center of the ghost.
Okay, it is destroyed. All right, so there are 3 left. Good work, Regina. Helps to have a magic sword plus all those other things. Okay. And that leads us to the second person to go, which is Hweddle.
All right. So Hweddle would like to. He's seen that some people are being like shoved around a bit.
Indeed.
And he's like, I'm not going off that edge. So he's gonna first off, if it's allowed, he would like to lie down on the floor on his belly, looking up like this, along the step close to the wall.
Okay.
You know, so loads of friction against the floor if you start sliding around.
Okay.
And then cast lightning bolts to the best of his ability.
Okay. I think that is. I think those things are all potentially doable. Although it is kind of, it's a funny image to imagine you just sitting down and being like, like, you know, like shooting over the top of it.
Drop and bolt.
Right. So, okay. So, you will need to make a spell casting test for this. Lightning is, let me see, it's not that far up. There we go. 1 spell point's a full action against the threat that you don't know yet, but we'll see. So, let's see. On a success. So you have to make a spellcasting test to make that happen. So, hang on a second. These things don't give me what I need. right. Yes, I know about that. Okay. All right. So that is so we're looking at a 3d6, so spell casting test. So you're going to be doing 3d6, and then do you have spellcasting? I assume you do.
Yeah.
And you have a focus in arcane or mystic?
In nature.
In nature. Okay, that counts because this is nature, so you get the focus as well. So that means that we're looking at 3d6 plus focus, and then the last element of this is, so 3d6 plus your aspect plus 2. And aspect for this, I believe, would be wits, I believe.
I've got resolve down on my notes.
Okay, then if it's resolve, because they can be different for different people. So yes, so then 3d6 plus resolve plus 2. Thunderbolt of lightning. Okay. Let's see. So we got that 1, but then we also got the 6 plus the 2 plus the 6 plus the 2. So we're looking at a 17. Yes, that will hit. So that means the target is going to take damage of 1d6, which you can roll, plus craft. So plus your craft score.
Crafty craft.
Okay. 8 points to this thing. And I'm going to assume... Are you going to aim at the one that's this low one? That's sort of the lowest one here? Weddle, down in this bottom
Yeah,
area?
he's not so angry that he would let Lump get killed by horrible, creepy things.
Okay. So it slams into the side of this creature. And because this is... Let's see... And because that was 1d6 plus 2 plus 6 plus 2. So we did not, however, have doubles in this situation. So it is a standard success, which means that I'm going to say that you will have to spend an extra spell point, or you will be strained, which will cause a penalty to spell casting.
I'll spend the extra spell point, please.
Okay, so you're at 2 out of 6 spell points, but other than that, it works. It does not get an attack back at you. Good work. I assume, Weddle, you're going to stay lying here on the ground on one side of the steps.
He's just here now. He's done, yeah.
Okay, good stuff. Lump, you're up next.
Yep, I am going to jump the step.
Okay.
I'm going to jump from here to here.
That sounds like an athletics check to me.
It does, doesn't it?
So I'm going to have you do that. I don't think this is... Do you have a focus in jumping?
I have a focus in climbing, so not jumping.
Yeah, okay. So then I think we're going to talk about... we're going to say brawn. So athletics with brawn.
Excellent. 18.
Yes, you're able to clear it.
Fantastic.
Now, as you get to the other side, you are going to, because that is a standard success. So I am going to say that you will have to do one of two things. Either A, you will have to aim for landing on Weddle, or running into Corellia slash, because Weddle's up here. So running into Corellia slash Reginald, or direct yourself in such a way that you hit the wall rather than hit either of them. So in other words, you cleared the landing. So you made the you cleared the step.
Landing. As I'm landing, so then I have to just distribute the remaining energy.
That's right.
As I'm landing, I will say thanks words, and then not try and hit anyone and try and just bounce into the wall.
Okay. All right. So
I can hit the wall as hard as I want, right? I don't want to hit a friend as hard as I need to.
You can. No. You can hit the wall, and also this can be mitigated by armor. You will take 3 points of damage as you slam into the wall, but that can go to armor. So
7 armor, 20 life.
Okay.
Cool.
And make sure you mark off another, like a double X on that first one, because this is the first time you've taken damage from that. Okay. Okay. All right. Good stuff out of Lump. You made that as you crossed over, so we're now all on the right side. On the correct side, literally the right side. Okay, that leads us to Reginald, who is watching as the as your lump friend lands in the wall, like right in front of you.
Yeah, after a bit of second guessing and revising and re-revising my plan, I'm going to stick with drinking the potion, I think.
Okay. All right, that one I'm not going to require you to do any tests for. Just see what
No,
you get.
3 rounds. I better
Okay.
make the most of it.
3 rounds. Yep. Like I make it happen. Okay, so good stuff. All right. Now the ones that did not get hit. Let's see. The lightning one was not get a response. So there's the 2 up top that were not addressed at all. These are going to come down this way, and they are going to attempt to hit Regina, who is holding the sword and appears to be the greatest risk at the moment to them. Although even as they're doing this, they're kind of really like flailing, more than anything else, like sort of lashing out in uncertainty might be a way to describe it.
Did I accidentally kill the ghost that was not doing anything? Because that would have been just my luck.
Yeah, I know, right? No, these ones are the one that you were engaged with, you destroyed. And so that one didn't get a chance to get a hit on you. These 2 were floating higher up, and they're just coming to engage you now, like separately, because no one else has engaged them to this point.
Yeah, but Reginald confused one, didn't he?
Reginald had stunned one, which I believe was this one here, which is the same one that was hit with the lightning bolt. Because remember, I asked her what level the thing was on, and it was this low level one, so that's why. It was good. It didn't get an attack back. I mean, it wouldn't, so that's all good. Unfortunately, though, it means that you've got to make 2 defense tests for me, and I'm sorry to say that these are both defense against psychic attacks. I am sorry.
So how do I defend against psychic attacks?
So you're going to be defending against that using either wits or resolve. And so you're basically doing a 3d6. I assume you don't have a focus in any of these things. So it really is just like, honestly, it's just sort of 3d6 is what it is.
Okay, well, I can do 3d6. Okay. Let's do 3d6 then.
And the difficulty you're trying to beat is their threat. You don't know what that is yet. Okay, and have you roll for the other one?
Holink.
Okay, interesting. So neither one of those is a success. I'm sorry to say that is lower than threat. Otherwise, it would have been awesome. But unfortunately,
do I get light fate for those?
I guess you do, actually. Yeah, I guess you get a light fate for each one of them, which is good because you're about to be slammed into a wall, maybe multiple times after they do some things, starting with damage. So you feel again this coldness, and then something slams into your brain. Again, the avoiding armor thing. All right, the first one is going to do 9 points of damage.
Okay. I shout, "They attack my headspace!"
Okay. And then the second one is going to be an additional 6 points of psychic damage. Now, we need to see if you can resist being thrown by either of these. So, again, same question. Do you want to do agility or brawn on these things?
Agility.
Agility to sort of succeed. Okay. Because you're going to make a defense test, basically. You're making a defense and athletics agility test to resist being shoved. So
yeah, I do have agility, so I will... And I've got double as much agility as I have brawn, so that's the whole reason there. 3d6 plus 3 plus 6. 3d6 plus 6. There we go. Roll 16 for the first
you
shove.
resist. So you resist the first one. Yes, you steel yourself against its effects. Yep.
And I'm gonna use a light fate for the second one to roll 4 die.
Okay.
Dice? I'm not sure. And I drop a 2 for a 17.
So you are like, I will not be shoved. Okay, good work on both counts. You are not shoved. Does that bring you back down to 1 out of 8 light fate?
That brings me down to 1 out of 8 light fate and 5 out of 30 life.
Right, and you have 9 out of 12 armor, which hasn't been helping you much in this psychic combat. Okay. Now, and that's all that happens. Corellia is standing back watching this in case anyone's curious. She did not do anything else yet. Because she did her one big thing by obliterating a spirit earlier on. That brings us to the top of the round again. You have 3 left, and one of them was badly hurt, and you obliterated another one last round. So you did make some progress, but as you can see, these things pack a punch, especially against the physical beasts, the physical beings and beasts that you possess in here. So, what would the party like to do? What order would they like to go?
Mind bullets.
You were going to do that, right? Are you doing that first?
I'd like to.
Yeah, seems to make
About
sense.
time I got in on this.
Seems to make sense. Okay, who wants to go second?
I'll
right,
go
you
second.
got it, Reginald.
No one wants to go second. Everybody, second, third, and fourth will take a step backwards.
We'll just give you their turn.
Lump is ineffective in this fight, so I don't know what I'm going to be able to do. I'm going to stay where I am, because if something attacks me, I'd rather it attack me than somebody else, but there's not a lot I can do. There's also not a lot I can do, like, skill-wise. Like, I can give people armor, but that's pointless.
It's true.
I'm not sure what I can do at the minute.
Okay. You could probably, I'm thinking also about, you can try to, there's a recover. You could attempt to protect another creature, or defend yourself, although some of this isn't going to have, the problem is all of this doesn't really have much of an effect against psychic. I have to make a note. More psychic creatures. They're really useful. You cannot heal someone. The problem is your character can't heal anybody. You could try to recover your own life. So I guess you could try to do that. You can attempt to do that, theoretically.
Yeah.
You can take a number of recover actions each day equal to your resolve.
So my resolve is, well, minimum of 1. Let me just double check. My resolve is 2. Excellent. I'll do a recover action.
Okay.
And
you have not taken any. You don't have any wounds, right? That you're dealing with right now.
No.
Okay. So what that means is, if you'll be doing a test when we get there, it's a fortitude test, and we'll talk about that when we get there. So you'll be doing recovery.
Cool. I will do a recover action.
So that is. So you're gonna go. So that's like second. Are you going second?
Yeah, that's fine. I don't think it matters when that happens.
Okay.
Okay. Well, my problem is that everything lower than a great success will mean instant death right now for me. But yeah, I can go third.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe you could do this and like hope that your party wipes out most of them first. Little Heroes of Might magic-ish, you take out the enemies before they get to me. But that's fine. Third, which means, are you okay, Weddle, with going fourth?
Maybe I should go third, and maybe I've got one more. I've got another spell in me. Maybe I can thin them out before they get to.
Then I go.
Okay. I like the idea that the big characters are like, can you all handle this part? Because, okay, sounds like a plan.
Give me some of me that I can punch. I'm happy.
Could Lump try to use his size and strength to grapple falling allies? Maybe. We'll see if that happens. That would be unfortunate if that were to occur, but we'll talk about that. Having Regina being able to fly definitely helps a little bit in this. Okay, Reginald, you were up first. So what would you like to do?
Weddle, which one were you planning to attack with the spell? Because I'm just thinking there's the wounded one, which I could potentially take out right away, or I could damage and probably not kill one of the other two.
I hadn't thought about it, to be honest.
I was just thinking in terms of retaliation.
Probably I'd go for the one closest, honestly.
Okay. I'll go for this one here, I think.
Well,
and
okay, but Weddle is going for that one. You want to go for the same one? Because this is the wounded one down here.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking.
It's up to you.
I'm thinking. I'm just trying to think in terms of retaliation.
Hey, Bridge, just
who, if it retaliates, who could take the hit more, Weddle or me?
Fair.
Oh, I'm just a little dwarven minstrel. I've only got 32 HP.
I'm going for the wounded one.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and make your psychic attack here.
So this is going to be 3d6 plus my wit for +5, plus I have attack focus for +2, plus I have just drunk the psychic power potion for an extra +2 to the roll.
Plus a billion, so yes.
Yeah. I'm going full D&D
let me
rogue on
note
this roll.
though before you go, since no one has gone yet, I am going to use a dark fate to pump up the threat of these creatures. I'm glad I remembered to do that this time. Okay.
Okay. Go. Well, it's an 80 was a light fate for me at the very least.
It is a light fate for you at the very least. That is a miss. Little pat on the back for me having pumped up threat just in time. Woo! Okay. All right. So, I think I was up to...
Okay. 2 more turns on the bonus then.
Yep. Sorry, Saber. It was a very good roll, unfortunately. So, at a failure, what it means is, as you say, they will attempt to retaliate. What this means is, I think on a failure, actually, ranged or melee, ranged attack. On a failure, so 2 notes. On a failure, I can choose what it was that I can do with this. Either a ranged or melee attack strikes you for full damage. Range, these folks don't have ranged attacks. I could have them move towards you, and I'm considering it. But I think probably what will happen instead is I will take that you suffer disorientation from the psychic effort, which means all your psychic attacks have a -2 penalty until you take a short rest.
Okay.
That is one of the costs of failure, sadly. Okay.
Noted.
So, all right. It was a good try, though. Number 2 up is Lump, who is going to attempt to recover. Okay. So, recover means you need to make a fortitude test using metal, if you have that.
Yes.
Okay. And you're going for difficulty 14 is what you're trying to beat. So, you need to make a fortitude test. So, we're looking at 3d6.
What is my metal? 4. Got it. Yes. Yes, I have fortitude as a skill. So.
Okay, so 3d6 plus, let's see, and let's say do you have a focus in the skill?
No, I only have focus in poison.
Okay, then I would read that as just 3d6 plus aspect, so just 3d6 plus 4, which is still not bad.
Yeah, which is still good. And so that's a 20.
Plus you get a light fate, and...
Plus I get a light fate. Plus I get a 1d6 health points because I rolled a 6. So I'll do that in a second. So
okay, well this is a great success, so you recover 1d6 life in addition.
So I'll just roll 2d6.
So 2d6 life, yeah.
Thank goodness for being a troll. 7, yay.
All right.
Light fate.
So you are up to 27. What are you at with light fate right now? 1 out of 7?
Now 2.
Oh, 2, okay.
Now
all right,
2
good
out
stuff.
of 7, 'cause I haven't used one yet. So.
Lovely.
Lovely, thank you.
Okay, and you're going to stay where you are, I assume, Lump, on that side. Sorry,
Yep.
Are you saying yes? Okay. I had your window off for a minute. Okay, Hweddle, you are up now. You have the 3 creatures that remain. The wounded one is still not destroyed, but you also have the one that's right next to you. But the one you shot before is still up here.
I know logically I should try to destroy the wounded one, but there's one right there in front of my face.
It's true.
What would Hweddle do? Nah, I think Hweddle's just as scared of these things as Bruce is. And Hweddle is definitely going to go for the one that is closest. Sorry. Hweddle would like to... I mean, it looks closer than it was before, so he wants to try and shuffle himself back so he's lying further away.
Okay.
And cast a lightning bolt
Okay.
at the closest one.
So that is going to be 3d6 plus your plus you have the skill of spellcasting. So and you have a focus, which is nature. So 3d6 plus aspect, which I think you said was resolve for this. So 3d6 plus resolve plus 2 is what we're looking at. Wow. Hello. For those of you at home, that is 3 6s plus a 6 plus a 2. I don't know that I've seen that in our Talisman game yet. I think that may be the first time.
Amazing.
26.
Well
that is an extraordinary success. And also you get a light fate on top of it. Okay, let's see what happens on a extraordinary success. It takes full effect with no side effects. You also gain one of the following benefits. And I would say the benefit is this. You don't use up your spell point. I think you just cast it.
There's a thing for Lightning Bolt if you get 6 on a Kismet die as well.
Oh, right. It causes the target to be stunned until the start of your next turn. That's true. That's a good point. Yes. Mm-hmm. So that is also on top of that. That is a hell of a roll. Okay. So I would like you to roll in that case 1d6, and we're going to add your craft to see how much damage you do to this one here. And I'm going to put a little stunned token on it so we remember.
Don't forget your light fate as well.
I've been lightning bolted. Okay, 9 points of damage to this one, and it is stunned. Stunned. Okay, good stuff. Wow, that was a lot of roll and no spell point usage. That's how we do it downtown. All right. Last, certainly not least, is Regina. Well, things are looking a little more hopeful.
Yeah, kind of. But, I mean, last session Regina realized that she's actually a hero. That's why she got the
revelation, yes.
The sword, yeah. And so, of course, she now needs to heroically slay poor lost spirits. Now that I say it, it doesn't sound that good anymore. That sounded better in my head.
I want to heroically slay innocent spirit. Oh.
Yeah, kind of.
Wait, are we the baddies here?
Yes. No, it doesn't sound that good anymore. So, okay, let's do the magic sword thing again, I guess.
Okay.
So
So this one is stunned and this one is damaged. So the one with the lightning bolt is stunned and this one over here is hurt. The one in the middle is not, just so you know.
If I kill the hurt one, it cannot attack me back, right?
That would be correct, yes.
Then it would and the stun one will not attack.
Actually,
so I would just have to.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, pardon for interrupting. Let me rephrase that. If you get a regular success, it will still be able to damage you because the combat's simultaneous. It's not that you hit it 1st; it's that it's hitting you at the same time. So I apologize. I misspoke. Yeah.
So it doesn't even matter which one. Yeah.
Also, the threats of all of them have been increased. Remember, I increased their threat with my Dark Fate.
Yeah, that's the point. Now that you say it, because I've forgotten about it again. And I can't really. But still, I'm gonna try to hit the one that is hurt. Wait, the one that is stunned cannot. But
Correct.
The one that is stunned is not.
The one that is stunned cannot hit you back, even if you were to miss it. That's true.
Still, I'm gonna go for the hurt one.
Okay.
I mean, also, the stunned one also hurt?
The stunned one is also hurt. Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
They're both hurt. But
yeah. But if the stunned one is out of the fight for this turn, the other one is not. So that one might kill me anyway. So I could just try to kill it at the same time because it's simultaneously.
Fair enough. All right, so let's have you make your regular. This is a melee attack that you're doing with all of your bonuses to the magic sword.
Yeah, but the magic sword give an attack bonus as well, or just a damage bonus?
Magic sword, I think, is just damage, +2 just damage.
Okay, then it's just 3d6 plus.
The attack bonus is you can hit these things with it. Which is a pretty good attack bonus.
3d6 plus brawn then, and I will use my last light fate for an additional attack die.
All right, makes sense.
Okay, so it's 4d6 plus 4. And let's see if I can hit that thing. Just checking if I have no more, but I think I have nothing that will give me...
Just roll like Bruce. That's all.
Yeah, what would Gretel do? Let's do what would Gretel do.
No, with your arm. Just have to fight angry, that's all.
Instead of, yeah, but everything that I have just gives me more damage. So, yep, that's it. Let's see. Roll it. Yeah, we already know that's not gonna work out because I have to drop a 3 that goes down to 16, and that is below the threat level.
Unfortunately, yes, that is not going to hit.
Yeah.
So it was against the creature that was not stunned, though hurt.
Yeah.
And that means that as a fail in this situation, it means that you are going to...
I'm not used to the sword. It's the sword's fault.
No,
it's not my
it's
fault.
I totally, of course. It's clearly the sword's fault. All right, they are going to attack, and it is going to do 7 points of damage.
Yeah, that takes me to -2.
Right. So Regina lands on the ground. The sword clatters across the step, and Regina is down. So I believe we've had this scenario before, but let me just go find the surviving death rules. 1 second here. So, okay. Death and dying. Very useful to have a manual for that. Right. So, every round after this happens, you must make a death test to see if your character is still alive. So we will talk about the impact of that when we get there. So at the moment, Regina is unconscious. Okay. There is one creature left that hasn't gone and is not stunned. And that is this one in the middle. It is going to obviously fly over Regina because it doesn't need that now. And it is probably going to aim for, let's see. I think it's probably going to aim for not Hweddle, who's on the ground. I think it's probably going to aim for Lump because it's going to see Lump as the biggest possible target in front of it. So in doing that, it is going to attack you using, trying to strike you with psychic damage. So what I need you to do in this situation, unfortunately, is I'm going to need you to defend against psychic combat, which I think for you is just 3d6, if I'm not mistaken, Lump.
I think so too. 3d6.
Well, it's the troll's the most dangerous one that's up, Byron. At the moment, Regina is on the ground.
Like the next
not
most
a threat.
Physically dangerous one. There you go.
Also, you notice that the thing has moved around basically to your back, so it's like facing you. You're facing it, and it's facing you. For some reason, you don't know why.
He looks at me.
Okay.
Right. 16, and I will take another light fate.
Okay, that's good on the light fate, but the 16 is not enough because of the apparently extremely effective threat boost that I gave.
I will also just roll an extra 3 HP, so I'm now back at 30 out of 30 because trolls.
Oh, right. Okay. I was going to say, I was like, what is this? You're like, I'm just going to randomly do that. Right.
I'm just going to randomly regenerate because trolls.
Okay, so you are going to take 7 points of psychic damage, and I need you to make for me, please, an athletics test to resist being shoved. Unless you want to do agility, but I'm guessing you want to resist it. Yeah, which is brawn.
Brawn, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, brawn, yes, please, brawn. 3d6 plus 7. That would be 19.
Okay. 19. Who was it against the... All right, yeah, fortunately it's not their threat. It's a set score. So you did manage to resist. You felt your foot slide backwards,
you,
though.
Spectral bastard.
Ever so much towards that. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this creature is now over here. Okay, so this brings us up to the top of the round. And at the top of the round, Corellia, before anyone does anything, steps forward and looks at you, Reginald, and says, "You must do what you can. Restore the balance." And then takes her scythe, puts the handle on the body of Regina, and takes the blade and puts it into her body. She falls over, and as she does so, Regina is infused with life. You are given back 10 points, Regina, and your ghoul companion is no longer with us.
Do I start from 0 or from
0.
-2?
From 0.
Okay.
I believe I saw someone in chat, maybe perhaps a player, make a reference to been like whelp shrug. I think I saw that. In fairness, that was the plan for Corelli was going to do that anyway, but it was funny. I saw that. I'm like, we're going to see about that. Okay, now chat. Now you can decide what it is that you would like to do.
I was making plans to do a pass the parcel to get the Briar Rose over to Regina's hand, but don't need to do that now.
Yeah,
I was just going to hand her my special brew.
Don't judge a ghoul by her cover. See, exactly, Arun knows what I'm saying. That's exactly right. Okay, so what order would you like to go in, folks?
I'm gonna go for mind bullets again on the one that got nuked by Zeus.
That's right, which is now, let's see, it did not go, so it's no longer stunned. So it's now clear of its stun. But it is hurt.
Fine.
Okay, so you're going to be going first. Lump, Weddle, Regina, who's going second?
I might as well go second because I'm going to once again attack the one that's closest to me, which is the furthest on the right, which is the only undamaged one, right? So I'm just doing first hits on everyone. I'm not finishing anyone off.
Yeah, you're setting them up though.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. Lump and Regina. Who wants to go 3 and then 4?
I tell you, I think I fancy doing a recover action and just doing a hit me instead. I'm the angry-looking one.
Yeah,
hit me instead.
Literally tanking in this way. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Then I'll go last.
Okay, that brings us up to the top with Reginald.
Okay, I'm going to use my Light Fate for an extra die. It's now at +7 because of the strain.
Okay. What? 21 will hit. I did not use a Dark Fate this time. Oh yeah, you have to drop one.
But yes, I have to. Well, I either have to drop.
Now you got to
6 or I
decide.
drop the
Well, I will
2.
tell you, I did not use a Dark Fate this time to boost their threats. So
Yeah. Hang on, let me try and work this backwards a bit.
yeah,
I'll drop the 2. I'm going to play it safe and drop the 2.
Okay, that will hit.
Yeah.
All right. So damage roll.
So the good news is that will be psychic damage modifier is 7 with a +2 from the power potion. So that's a 9 points of psychic damage.
And that was to this one, right? The one that had been stunned. Okay. Yes, you obliterate it. Not obliterate it, but you destroy it, and it disappears with a wail. So that was because you said you dropped the 2, so that means that was a success, which means, but not a great success. So on a success, because it's all happening simultaneously, on a success, I can choose one of the following. I think since you were right up there, probably. Oh my goodness. So disorientation penalties are cumulative. All right, so another -1, so that means you're at -3 now. And it says that's an addition, so I would say that the opponent is going to inflict half psychic damage to you that it would normally do. So because of the success. So that means you take 3 points of damage ignoring armor.
That puts me at 19.
Okay. And -3 on that psychic damage.
Yeah, just keep a note of that.
Hey, Echo.
I'll be fine until the potion wears off, and then all of a sudden my brain comes out my ear.
Exactly. Okay. Up second. You're staying where you are, I assume, Reginald?
Yeah.
Okay. Up second is Weddle. There are 2 left. The one that's attacking you right next to you is undamaged, and then there's this one down here that has been hurt.
All right. Well, I am more than due a terrible roll. So I'm going to attack the undamaged one closest to me.
Okay.
Let's go. Same as before. 3d6 plus aspect plus 2. Pow! Oh, nice.
3d6 plus aspect plus 2.
That's all right.
Means, yes, indeed. In fact, that is a great success. So when you have a great success, it means it takes full effect. There are no side effects. So you can just roll damage without anything else affecting it. But it does use up that spell point.
All right.
That's true, Prince Justin. 8. Okay, on the undamaged one we had said, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that also looks quite hurt. That is not stunned though, because you did not get you have 6 on the Kismet die. So you have 2 damaged spirits, and as I mentioned, there are no ill effects. So you've also used up the sort of response from that enemy, which is another positive thing. And I assume you're staying like below the stair, like where you've been lying, Weddle, or not?
Yeah, just trying not to get stood on by Lump.
Yep. Sort of who's agilely dodging around you, sort of.
Yeah.
Lump is actually facing down. Speaking of Lump, it's Lump's turn. Lump is facing down this other creature, and Lump is going to try to do a recover action. Remember, you only have 1 recover action left because you only get 2 because it's the same amount as resolve. So you can do this one more time.
Then I will not do a recover action.
Okay.
I will.
Yeah, you can take a number each day equal to your resolve.
Yeah, it's very true, and we're not at the bottom of this pit yet. So.
It's true. Quite right.
I will taunt the ghost.
Okay.
I will throw pebbles at it.
You're going to taunt the ghost.
Yes.
Are you actually attempting to in some way mechanically affect it other than the taunt?
So that it attacks me and not one of the
I see what
more
you're saying.
injured characters.
Yes. You probably, unless you just want to yell at it, which may do something, you probably want to actually attack it, even if it's psychically.
Can I reach it?
Yeah, because it's right. Yes, it's right in front of you, attacking you. Yeah.
Okay, then I will psychically attack it.
Which is 3D. I think we said just like 3d6.
Yeah, which is 100% not going to work. But I'll do it. 3d6 plus.
Think really hard.
Think really, really hard. Think happy thoughts. 3d6 plus 1. It is a 10.
That unfortunately is not going to do it. You'll be happy to know that it's going to focus its attention on you, as you have failed.
I'm tanking.
So, note that your psychic attacks, I think it's funny I have to say this, have a -2 penalty until you take a short rest because you're a little disoriented. It doesn't affect your melee.
Okay.
But I'm just letting you know. Okay, so it is going to inflict psychic damage upon you. Okay. And we're going to see what that does. So psychic damage is going to be... This is basically the equivalent of what you wanted to do anyway. You wanted it to be targeting you, so...
Yeah, but pretty much.
So that is going to do 8 points of psychic damage, ignoring armor. And now I need you to make that... check, the athletics brawn test, to prevent being shoved.
Let's hope this one works. That one. 12.
That's not great. Unfortunately. What happens, Lump, is you are pushed backwards and trip backwards. In fact, you trip backwards over Weddle onto a step, and you fall full bore onto the square. When you hit the square, there is a... and it then falls. So, let's see. This is... let's see, threat 15. Right. There's going to be some good news about this, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute.
Is there, though?
There's going to be some vaguely good news. I promise you'll find it a little amusing, assuming you all survive this. So you fall to the bottom of this 15-foot pit. Let's see.
That's in this step, right?
Correct.
That's what's happened. I've fallen on the step. The step cover has collapsed, and I've fallen in this.
That's
pit
right. The square in the
onto
middle of the
this
step, to be exact.
Okay.
Okay. So, let's see. You have triggered this trap. So you actually
Instead of spikes at the bottom, there's just happy little bunnies.
There's just a
hopping
pile
around.
of gold.
Is that what you think actually how it actually works? Okay.
Gold and healing potions and a pair of magical gloves. I take one magical glove at this point. I do a Thanos thing. I just have one
Magical
big golden
thimble?
glove.
Okay. You are going to take let's see, 14 points of damage from falling in spikes, although the armor will mitigate 7 of that.
Oh, okay, thank God.
So 0, and then you will take 7, so you have 8 points. The good news is that there are at the bottom, next to you as you lie, you sort of look over and see the glint of 11 pieces of gold. You were looking for gold, and you found it from the previous victims. You see a lot of bones around you. You assume it came from them.
I gotta be honest, I'm a little preoccupied.
I'm just telling you, you said, where do I find gold? You found it. The bigger problem for Lump is that at the moment, Lump is out of the fight until he can figure out a way how to get up there, because Lump is literally down here. Basically right there. Okay, so that's how that went down. They did focus their attention on you, so there'll be no attacks from enemies. That's true. Well, you have time to do that now, theoretically. Regina, you were up. There are 2 left, both hurt.
Okay. For those of you who've maybe watched the old animated movie The Rescuers, so Regina is coming back from the death right now, like these little dragonfly Eventrude, like restarting.
Right.
And I just sword smash into the next ghost.
Okay. So either one, they seem to be equally hurt. You have a preference? This one or this one? Or this one?
I think the one to the left is a little closer to me.
So this
or
one?
not?
Okay. Yeah, no, probably.
I just take that one.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, so go ahead and make your melee attack against this thing.
Okay, that was 3d6 plus 3.
That's your canonical res noise, original.
Wait, 3d because there is no more. Okay, let's see. Maybe it works this time.
Hey,
19.
Look at that.
19?
19 does indeed
Beautiful
hit.
light.
Plus,
fade.
it's a great success.
Yeah,
and you get a
great
light fade
success
as well.
and a light fade.
Yep.
So all of this is good.
So with a great success on this, it means that you are going to get full damage on your target, and your opponent does not get an action. So you just damage it up.
So that was 1d6 plus 10. 13.
Okay. That is obliterated. You absolutely destroy it, and it disappears with a wail, leaving just the one. Okay, good stuff. And it got no action, so you're all good. The other one already went. So that means we're back up to the top of the round. There's one injured spirit left, a very hurt troll at the bottom of a 15-foot pit, and various people in various levels of hurt, except for Hweddle, who's just totally fine. No damage, no problems, just sitting there living Hweddle's best life. What order would everyone like to go in?
I can mind bullets again. Still got another left in me, I think. Until this potion wears off at the end of this round, so I may as well.
Do all the offensive stuff first, eh?
So you're thinking Reginald first? You want to go first?
Yeah, well, potion wears off at the end of this round anyway, and then I will be functionally useless, so I may as well get the attack out of the way.
Okay. That is one. Who wants to go second?
Not me.
Honestly, Hweddle is, no matter how angry he's been with his mate Lump, at the end of the day, is his best mate, who he's known for ages. And so he doesn't even care about this ghoul anymore. He's just seen Lump disappear down a hole, and he's going to be crawling over there to make sure Lump's all right. So I don't know if he's going to be super... I should probably go last, and anyone who needs to attack the ghouls should go before me. And then, as a last resort, if I need to save somebody by attacking the ghoul, then I will, but...
So we're thinking like you 4, and if that sounds like it's Lump 2, Regina 2 and Lump 3? Is that what that sounds like?
That sounds good, because I'm going to do a recovery action.
Okay, so then is that good, Regina? Does that make sense?
That is good.
Okay. So in that case, we are going. Okay, 2, 3. Great, Reginald, you were up first. Wait, I want to see this. What is this? Coming back from the dead.
Let me make sure I've got this.
Earning your degree online
wait a
is
second. I have to turn off the ad first. Okay.
What if you could do
Oh my God, YouTube, really?
I don't need a
How many
Grammarly
freaking
advert,
ads do
Jesus
we need?
Christ. Just want to see the video.
I'm sorry.
Hey, there we go.
Okay, I like that image. Like, literally, as you're coming back to life. That's tremendous. Okay. All right, Reginald, you're up.
Okay, right. I've got it all worked out, so let's do this. It's an 18.
18 will hit. Yeah, I don't want to
Good.
blow all my dark fate on these things. They did a fair bit of work.
Yeah. Luckily, not affected by the strain, so that's 9 points of damage.
Okay, well, that one is destroyed, and actually, since that's a great success, I don't think, I mean, that doesn't affect you at all, except that you do take another -1 for disorientation, I believe. Oh, no, you don't. Only on a failure do you suffer disorientation. So you still got -3 overall from the previous failures, but this one just does the damage, and that one is destroyed. Okay.
Okay.
And
I'll use my last round.
that means that we are now out of combat here. Okay.
Good.
So
I have an end of combat thing I'd like to do.
My brain
Sure.
hurts.
I mean,
Where's Lump?
what is it you were going to do?
At the end of combat, if I wish to, I can spend a light fate to regain life equal to my strength. So I'm going to do that twice and regain 14 life.
Can you do it twice?
Well, I hope so. It doesn't say I can't. It's page 108 on the Warrior Advanced Special Abilities.
Okay, let me just make sure. Because I want to know if it's spend a light fate. And you have what? What is this that you have?
Merciful. As you're having a look at it.
Okay, no, you're right. That seems like you can use as many. Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
So you're going to use
excellent.
2, which brings you to 0 or 1?
0 light fate.
Okay, 0 light fate, and you are now
Zero light
up
fate.
to how much?
22.
22. Okay. Very nice. The power of trolldom. Okay.
The power of troll compels me.
All right. That's the good news. Bad news is you're still at the bottom of a pit.
Ow.
Reginald pulls out a rope.
Okay.
Puddle's still
help.
rushing to the edge of the pit to look down and see if Lump's all right.
Is Lump all right?
I'm better. I can't move, though. I'm assuming, am I surrounded by spikes, laying on spikes?
You are laying on spikes. In fact, you see one spike through your side. You can kind of pull yourself up, which is probably going to be a little uncomfortable. But then you can kind of stand in between the spikes. Because they're pretty big, long, sharp.
Yeah. Is there a way I can brace my feet and try and pull myself off this spike?
Not
Doesn't
without
matter.
assistance, but if the rope lands, you can probably use your strength to do that, I would think.
Okay, cool. I'll wait until the rope comes down.
Okay. So, also, I should say, by the way, your armor at the moment is, I mean, as you expected, 0 out of 12. So I think that actually also fits this narratively, because it's just a big, like, hole through, the armor.
The helm is untouched so far.
Yeah, that's true.
The armor? No.
So the rope comes down if Weddle is sending that, or I'm sorry, Reginald is sending that down. Reginald,
yep.
are you bracing yourself? Is anybody else helping?
They better, because I'm not going to last very long if Lump falls on it.
I look around. Is there somewhere we can tie the rope to?
You could tie it to the sconce that the torch is burning in, that's attached to the wall there.
Does that look like a good idea? Well, Regina wouldn't know whether this is a good idea.
I mean, it's not something that, you would use it as like a, if everybody falls, maybe that's the last resort. Certainly not something you would use as like a super strong, it's kind of a in case of emergency situation. You
I
could attach
fly
to
up
a
to
body.
Reginald.
There's plenty of bodies around. Just attach them.
I don't think we should go near those.
Maybe not touch
I,
those
like I've
again.
been telling people for like the entirety of this Talisman campaign.
As we've been through this before.
I fly up to
16
Reginald.
on my PowerPoint spreadsheet.
I fly up to Reginald. I can tie it up there to the brace where the torch is. Why is the ghoul dead? I can tie it up there.
The ghoul sacrificed.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Aurelia sacrificed herself to give you life.
They can do that.
It's a new one on me.
Oh. Regina looks a little bit unsure whether she is deciding if she should feel guilty about this or not.
I don't
Can we make her? Can we,
this, but I'm still impaled.
And Hwaddle
Yeah.
Hwaddle's gonna help, but first Hwaddle's gone to the edge, really, really worried, seen that Lump is still alive, and then gone, okay, I could be angry again. I was just gonna shout down like, do you know how worried I was about you seeing you fall down there? Could you not fall down, please? I thought you blinking died or something. Can you consider people's feelings before you go falling into traps like that? Really inconsiderate of you, Lump.
Just
And then
blood
not give
pouring
Lump
out
an
my side.
opportunity to like respond, just like
Yeah.
half like angrily go over to Reginald and start helping on this rope, just like, ugh, Lump.
Okay. I tie the rope up and then I fly down to press the other end into Lump's hand so we don't have to throw it or something.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
We have used up a ghoul. And I fly up again.
Wow.
How many ghoul points do you have? Reginald, I have this image of you
cow,
dropping
just-
the rope and
Are
walking
they just
away.
health packs with legs to you? Like, what's going on?
Wow.
They are now.
So if all of you are
Reginald, do the thing,
pulling
do the thing. Starts
along with
poking you
Lump,
a
I think you can pull. I think without a test, you're able to pull Lump up as long as you're all assisting.
Shink as it comes out of my side.
Yep. Yep. that
Yeah,
was
well,
there.
Regina didn't only find out today that ghouls can die, but also if they do, it gives life to other people. This is all very confusing.
Most schools can't do that.
And as Lump
Maybe
is
they never
coming
told
up-
you.
I don't want to test that.
Go
You know,
ahead.
my family didn't tell me a lot of things.
I think we believe that.
You were going to say something, Whittle.
Yeah, as Lump is coming up over the edge and the state of his armor comes into sort of sight, as someone in the party with the forge iron skill for repairing damaged armor and things, just gonna look at it and go, "Oh, I suppose you'll be wanting me to fix that up later, getting a hole through your armor."
Not if it's a problem. No.
Oh no, nothing's ever a problem for me because we're friends, aren't we?
Yes.
And Quaddle's like, yeah, and then it's just like turns and flips his cloak as if he's just given like the best like on your face kind of like, and you know, and then takes a few steps away and then looks down at like the next step and is like, just like stops and just sort of stands really annoyed and doesn't go any further because he doesn't want to walk on the next steps.
Well, as long as we're friends. Lump just carries on walking
Whoa.
down.
Wow. Okay.
I fly up to Reginald. You know, Reginald, I'm not saying that people are evil, but if people find that out about ghouls, it's gonna be bad.
Most can't do that.
But they will try!
Is Corellia's body still here?
Yes.
Lump just looks at the body. I saw what happened, didn't I?
I would think so, yeah.
That happened just before I fell
Yes.
into it. I'll look at the body and I'll look at Reginald. Do we need to do anything?
Yes, but I'll take care of it later. She would want us to carry on. She asked me to restore the balance before she sacrificed herself.
Okay. All Lump
I
does
do
Don't
it.
worry.
All Lump does is he just picks up the scythe that's next to Corellia and places it so her hand is around it, so it won't go anywhere.
Okay.
Reginald
I
nods.
really didn't ask her to, and I'm sorry.
I was going to say it's what she would have wanted, but no, it probably wasn't.
It might not be. No.
You would've
No.
wanted it this way. I mean, no.
Flesh ghosts do things different. And Lump just carries on.
Okay.
I think I might take the lead since I know what I'm looking for on the steps, and literally no one else does at this
Yes.
point.
Please do.
And right around here, you see another one of those squares, Reginald, when you all get down to there.
Okay. I've been told. I've been told I'm immune to them. So I just, Lump, can you hold on to me really, really tightly a moment?
There's this moment where you're not sure if I'm going to accidentally rip your arm off.
I was expecting a big troll hug, to be honest.
I was going to say, like, this magic moment.
Okay, well, when I'm certain he's got a hold of me, I am going to step on it.
Okay. Nothing happens.
Okay. Corellia said it wouldn't affect ghouls. But you three had better step around. I'll move over to the next step. Actually, I'll move forward the next couple of steps in case we get any projectile party members.
Well, right, because I was going to say, yeah. So, and you don't see anything else on this, like, square-wise there. And when you get here...
skirt around this.
And you can start to hear, by the way, as you get to this part, the sound of...
Ghost bees!
Echoing from down below. You seem to be reaching what you would suspect is the bottom.
Sounds like Regina's singing when she's
Ghost
had
bees.
a few.
Telling you.
I once heard a banshee who said that sounded similarly.
Uh-oh.
Great. Something else I can't punch.
I'll keep unless the party stops Reginald for any reason. He's going to keep going ahead and keeping an eye out for traps.
Where the traps are.
Well, I know what I'm looking for. It's not quite the same thing.
At the bottom of this, you see what looks like it's lit, but in a strange way. And as you're looking, you don't see any more of those pits, but you do see... Oh, come on. You do see this.
Well, the blood fountain really ties the room together.
The HP fountain from Diablo. Lovely.
In fact, I have a picture of this.
Oh, no.
As you... but I'll have you all come down to where you want to be.
The butcher.
Probably
Exactly.
not going to go into the room, but...
Fresh meat.
Oh, I'm out. I'm a mage. This isn't going to go well.
So...
Stand aside.
You see a large room which is blazing with a strange inverted torchlight, as if the night could glow black and hang on a wall. It is a beautiful domed room of white marble. In the center, a large white slab stands empty, and a fountain in the south wall pours clear water, but there is a thin red thread through its stream like a trickle of blood. Suddenly, Regina, the talisman, still in the form of a sword, flares with that multi-hued light again, and it speaks in a high, warbling voice. You have returned me home, but I require one step further. You must use me to cut off her head, or she will be lost, and Sepulchre will be lost with her. Now, the blaze is so bright that all of you are like, even the tunnel sight, like you see so well, Weddle, that you're just like, blinded. And as the glare fades, you see this. Hang on a second whilst I put this picture on stream.
If this is another ghost, I'm gonna lose it.
It's not a ghost.
Good.
Then I can punch it.
You see a large, white, cat-like beast, twice the size of a lion, with a lashing tail and enormous fangs. She snarls at you,
It's just misunderstood.
leaps at you, and brings our session to a close.
Oh.
It is the White Cat. Do you remember the name of the tavern, perhaps, in Sepulchre? This is the White Cat. So you've heard what the sword said. What you must do.
The sword wants me to kill the kitty.
The sword wants you to decapitate the kitty.
And to be clear, this is not a kitty.
Even if it was a Highlander, it would die from it.
Haruno's like, luckily I'm a dog person. Let's do this. Yeah, exactly. If this were a cute, like, dachshund, I would never get anyone to do it. They'd be like, well, like, sorry, the realm dies then, because that's... But anyway, yes. So,
I'd say get in there, Lump, but considering the state we're in...
Yes. So the way this works is what we will do, Chad, in case people are curious, is when we play Talisman Adventures next. This is, I can tell everyone, pretty much the concluding sequence of the Lady's Tomb, and we will go from there if the party survives it, and this will be a tough fight. But if the party survives it, we will go from there into what will be the final adventure of the campaign. And in case people are curious about this final adventure, the final adventure of the campaign, which actually works beautifully off of this, is called the Nightmare Invasion. It will be tying up some loose ends that we have. So, first, you must defeat this white cat. Secondly, you must face a nightmare. So, we will see what happens next time. But that was a lot of fun, and I actually didn't know that combat was going to take quite as long as it did, because there was a lot going on there in that combat, and partly it was because all of you were like, oh, psychic, we don't have, and you had all been sort of lower on spell points. So Weddle's was huge, having that magic sword of Regina's was huge, Reginald was huge, but it just was hard for people, and Lump actually did attract attention, but it was just hard because you were dealing with these things on a step, trying not to fall into a pit. If you had been knocked in earlier, it would have been worse, and if Regina wasn't flying, that would also have made things worse. So multiple things that were both negatives and positives. So you're going to need a whole load of catnip. Yeah, exactly. Or a laser pointer. You just use it, and then all of a sudden it's immediately stunned every round. I will start on the bottom of the column. I'll work upward. So Bruce, good stuff. Bless you out of Weddle. I've been a big fan of the role play of what Weddle has been experiencing with the anger, but also, again, you needed, and I think you hit at least three times with that lightning bolt, because one of them you didn't use a spell point on. So you had some very solid rolls. You had the first ever full sweep of sixes that I've seen in Talisman Adventures. So congratulations on that. You actually somehow got out of that completely unscathed. Like you did not get hit, and all that stuff. So you managed to survive it. And your spells were critically important. But we had also that funny exchange about being like, well, I guess I'm just your friend, and I always do that. And Lump's like, yes. And you're like, yeah, but obviously a more combat-focused session. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Yeah, that was really fun. I'm enjoying playing an angry Weddle, but I'll also be glad to go back to not angry Weddle.
All the time,
It's really hard to be angry with Lump. He's just accepting it. It's like, stop it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, it was a really good session. I really enjoyed it. And I'm really sleepy. I think I'll have to see if I can get Morgan Murphy to join in next time, because Morg really likes to eat cats and dreams of it every day. So, she'd love to eat a really big cat. Don't worry. I stop her from eating cats usually, but I feel like she'll be allowed to eat this one.
Usually. Pirate just has this horrified, what?
How did you find that out? How did you find out that your dog likes to eat cats?
Wow.
Best answer.
Yeah, I don't want to answer that.
Legally, you're not allowed.
No, it's a very upsetting time for everyone. It's she's an adopted X-racing greyhound, so yeah. Anyway, where people will find me next is not letting my dog eat cats, and I'm not doing any streaming or things. I am spending a lot of time hosting writing meetups. I'm currently hosting 12 hours of writing meetups every week. So that's exciting and taking a lot of time, but it's really worthwhile.
Good stuff. And yep, pretty much, Rudnell, pretty much. What is a writing meet? Do you want to explain what a writing meetup? I know what those are. I like those. But what is a writing meetup?
Yeah, so like the website meetup.com, but there's probably other competitors that are also good. You can agree to like meet up with other people who have a similar interest, usually in person, but you can also do them online, so with like Zoom links or whatever. And these writing meetups are sort of ones where you don't talk about your writing, you just say at the start, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to write a bit of my book or an essay or do some homework or a blog post or whatever. And then you don't do anything else but that for like an hour and a half. And then you come together at the end again to say whether you did it or not. So it's just accountability groups. And I joined them every day and then ended up hosting a bunch of them.
They are kind of fun. I've done several workshops that were attend workshops where you basically are in the same boat, and it does. I mean, there is a sense of accountability, and it's also nice because writing is a solitary activity a lot of the time. So it's nice to be able to have people around you. Yeah, it's cool. Well, thank you, Bruce. Always a pleasure. Great work with Weddle, and I cannot wait to see how Weddle handles his anger going forward. That will be important as we go through. Moving right on up the line. Yeah, Mike, I I understood the situation of like the first time that you just sort of did the Hulk clap thing, and they were just like, no, but we're gonna hit you for psychic damage that pays no attention to armor. I think at that point you were like, well, I guess we're using the regeneration quality of the troll this time, because that was basically it. I mean, there's not much else that can be done. You can initiate psychic combat, but there are diminishing returns. You get disoriented over time as it happens if you fail, and like you can only do so much damage with psychically. Just Lump was not going to be much use in much of this fight without some kind of magical weapon. But having said that, I mean, you were able to jump over the pit the first time, or jump over the square the first time. You were able to kind of tank for the party, for a turn or two, which was useful. And then you were able to survive a fall into a spiked pit. And I'm not sure that most of you in the party would have been able to survive said fall. So 15 feet into spikes is pretty bad. And fortunately, you used every bit of your armor and all that stuff to do it, which I'm sure sets you up perfectly for a battle against twice as big as a lion white cat. It'll be fine. How did you feel about today's? And I also felt bad about Lump being like, yes, you're my friend, to Weddle being angry. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
I adored this session. I always adore these sessions. And it was one of those situations. I knew I wasn't going to be a lot of help. So I was like, whoa, what can I do? One of those things I can do is to tank people. And I landed some really good rolls. I healed quite a lot. And I lent into, thematically and mechanically, lent into the troll regeneration things. Like, you hit me, but I heal. Hit me again. Like...
Hit me again.
Hit me again and again and again. Like, you're made of wind. Like, what are you going to do to me? And my head really hurts. What are you going to do to me? You haven't got a sword. You haven't got claws. Nothing.
Did you have a temptation to do I can do this all day? Like a thing.
It did cross my mind. It did, but then I fell in the pit.
All right, maybe I can.
That was going to be my response, my retort, if I'd have done that again, because I'd have been 3 times successfully defending myself against being pushed off the ledge, and then I'm like, I can do this all day, and then I'm like,
but then this is smarter you, and then
turns out I actually can't do this all day. I should know my level. But yeah, if people want to check myself out, you can follow the Twitch streams. I'm going to be streaming probably on Friday at 5 p.m. BST, and I'm going to be playing I'm on observation duty because I have no regard for my own nervous system, and I want to scare myself poopless with jump scares and horrific things like that. So that's what I'm going to be playing.
Sounds like a plan for a game that I won't watch because I don't want to be jump scared myself. But no, always a pleasure. And as I say, thank you for the video work and all that stuff, Mike, and for supporting Gray Shading the coin that you were talking about. And we will see you here actually for ARFCon. We'll see you in a week and a few days. I can't believe it's starting next week.
So soon.
It's ridiculous, yeah. But thank you, Mike. Always a pleasure. Also a pleasure to have Dark Saber with us today, who got to have his name called out in a positive, like it looks just like a Dark Saber. But also, it was interesting. We had a moment with Corellia where you had an additional ghoul and an additional the equivalent of you, like a corpse collector, so kind of like a shepherd of the dead, basically. And then, again, I imagine that you would say that Reginald's feeling is that it's all kind of like sort of matter of fact, like, yeah, sacrificed, herself for you and did this stuff. But the idea that there are things that would be not just sort of put to rest, but sort of destroyed, which is what has to happen with some of these spirits, probably would be something which may or may not, I don't know, but be difficult for Reginald because it's sort of outside of the natural order. And of course, the fact that, you're not supposed to be getting attacked by spirits of the restless dead. But this obviously everything is fouled up because of what the Redeemers did, that you're trying to set right. So given all of that, and also good psychic work with that potion, how did you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
It was a lot of fun, but it was getting tense towards the end there.
Yeah, it was.
and then we found the nightmare cat.
Yeah,
and that's when we heard the chainsaw to bring back an old joke.
Yep.
But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. It's Hweddle with that 666 roll though. Oh boy,
woo,
coming in clutch with that. That was you love to see it.
Yep.
Definitely love to see it. And like Mike was saying with Lump, was like, I can keep regenerating all day. I fell in a pit. And we had Regina going down for the count briefly, and now thinks that ghouls are basically walking health stations, which is I don't know how we're going to disabuse her of this notion at this point, but I really, really want to get this idea out of her head.
Because that was her biggest worry too. Was like, no, but have you thought about this? You're like, stop talking about it this way.
Yes, we can die. No, you don't usually get HP when we do. Stop it. It's getting weird.
Usually.
Why are you drawing off samples of my blood?
No reason. Never mind. The Ghoul Health Service is better than the National Health Service. That's good stuff, Echo. Yes. Agreed.
Yeah, so next time is going to be interesting. But, we'll have to deal with that when we deal with that. We have got a lump.
You do.
He's a bit better than he was a minute ago. So
he got a lump, no armor, got a helm.
Better.
Yeah,
he's got a helmet. Well, go head first. That'll do.
Funnily enough, that's the plan.
Excellent. But as for me, I'm going to be back here tomorrow evening. I'm going to be streaming some Tropico 5 because I think I saw it was on sale this week, as Calypso games are, and I enjoyed going back to Tropico 4 the other week, so we'll revisit Tropico 5 because it's been a few years since I've done that one. And you can always find me over on my own channel where I've been playing, again, I won't give you the context, but the game where I fought a tiger, then a bear, then a tiger, then a chimpanzee in a power digger.
But I gave you a cat, all right? I gave you a cat.
we have Nightmare Hellcat. It's I think I like that game because it reminds me of a lot of stuff that's been. Oh my god, we did actually have a moment in that game that I literally called an Arv moment. I'll send you the clip.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil the context for people, but I literally called it out as an Arv moment.
Okay.
And yeah, then obviously we've got ArvCons, which I'm really looking forward to.
Good times. That's right. Yes, Saber will be joining us as well. Thank you, Saber. Always a pleasure. Thank you again, as always, for Dashboard and Moobot. Last but certainly not least, Pyron. Yeah. First of all, clutch stuff with the sword and all that. I did love, too, not just that Regina was thinking about ghouls as like, wait, they're potential health packs, but wasn't like, oh, I can take advantage of this, but was like, but no, don't you realize people will think of it as they can, like, so it's like, first I have to convince you that's not the way ghouls usually work, and secondly, convince you that, why are you bringing this up? Like, I can imagine her being like, I just want you all to know, don't attack my friend, because I saw him heal people when a ghoul died, okay? Don't think you could do that to my friend here. I just had this image of Regina not quite getting it with her current situation that she finds herself facing as a hero, in quotes. And then obviously you had to have a lot of clutch hits as well to go along with Reginald and with Hweddle too. So, and now you get to face a double lion-sized Hellcat. So how did you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
I find it very difficult to play a heroic Regina. Can I just go back to being annoying and confused?
How about you beat the Hellcat? We'll see.
Okay. Also, did we maybe just asking this for friends? Rest for a moment and take a recover action.
Nope.
We should have thought of that, shouldn't we?
Lump took a recover action. Lump still got one.
Yeah, but
left.
it was during the fight. I thought like I was dead at that moment. You know, I was paying attention.
Yeah, that's true. And you finally, I don't think you've gone down. Have you gone down previous in Talisman? I don't know that you have.
I don't think I have.
Yeah.
No, it was Reginald went down several times, but he got better, so it didn't seem like a big deal. So I thought like ghouls were just kind of immortal that way. It's just okay. A lot of new things for Regina to learn. Yeah. Like she can actually fight with a sword. Ghouls can die. Other things that we don't talk about. It's a tough life. So I think actually people will see me next for ArvCon unless I join some multiplayer action this weekend. Looking at nobody specifically. Okay. And
Saber's like.
And so yeah, that would be me then next week. Yeah.
Good stuff. And yes, again, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, I will be playing on this channel, Chained Echoes, again next Tuesday, but then next weekend, ArvCon, I believe we have it on Saturday, we're going to be playing more of Ghosts of Saltmarsh to benefit this charity research, the cancer research charity that I support every year. And again, I am joined by 3 of these lovely people, plus Ananda from our Saltmarsh campaign. So you'll get a chance to see Pyron and Darksaber and Mike. You won't get a chance to see Bruce in that, but you will get to see Bruce next month as we continue with Talisman Adventures. So, chat, can we get some love for our amazing players and a fun session? Combat heavy today. Next session will probably be a mix. We'll see how long it takes to deal with this white cat. But can we get some love for our players? The amazing Pyron Jade, the incredible Darksaber 2K, the astonishing Peripheral Mike, and the unbelievable undeveloped Bruce. It is a pleasure to have all of you here. Players, great work, and I will see you folks soon.
Thanks so much, everyone. Have
Bye
a good
for
night.
now.
Bye.
Bye.
And that, folks, is going to do it for us today. I really did have a good time. I always try to talk about the idea that, typically in a session, sometimes you get lucky enough that you can do multiple of these things, right? That you can get multiple, things in terms of combat and other things. And we got a little bit of role play. But then there are other times where, whatever the situation is, you just can't. There's just no way to avoid having more of one or the other. And so in the aggregate, we get a lot of each one. We get a lot of story or we get a lot of combat. So we get more of that, in the sort of aggregate situation. But in this case, I thought that it was pretty cool that we got to have what was a pretty involved combat, I think. I would say that's fair to say. We got a pretty involved combat. And yeah, I'm excited to see how this is all going to play out. Hold on one second. There's something weird about that I'm not understanding. Give me a second. One moment. Yes, I thought so. Something was compressed about that. So I was stretched, like my face was too long. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Now it's all clear. Now I've got it and it all works. Okay, good. My camera is functional again. So anyway, that was the deal with that. But I had a great time with it. I really enjoyed it. And I hope you did as well. And the players, as always, were amazing. I really love both the campaigns that I do in this channel. If you like what you saw and heard, I hope you will follow us here on GogCom's Twitch channel. I hope you will subscribe to us here on GogCom's Twitch channel. And I hope you will consider clicking through to our individual channels and subscribing or supporting our Patreons over there as well. I am now going to be heading back over to my channel in about an hour and a half for more of Apollo Justice Ace Attorney with my voice team, the vocalists. So you'll get a chance to see them. That's always a blast. But also Fleos is going to be back here on this channel in about an hour and a half playing, I think it is Chasm, the Rift, I want to say, that Fleos is playing. So obviously Fleos is awesome and you should definitely check him out as well. Otherwise, I'll be back here next Tuesday with some more Chained Echoes for Pen and Pixels. And then Saturday, so a week from this Saturday, is going to feature a bunch of tabletop, but one of those tabletop things is going to be the amazing D&D with GOG team. So that's going to be awesome. ArvCon is next week. It is next week. It's actually a week from this coming Saturday, Kilgore. This Saturday is going to be May 20th, and it is May 27th. It starts on May 25th, actually, with this event, which I think I've mentioned before, at the Klein Theater, Thursday, May 25th. For the first time ever, ArvCon is going to be 5 days long. It's going to start with a live D&D event, and then Friday, we're going to be back with some tabletop play Friday night, and then Saturday, we will have all day, we'll be having tabletop stuff, and then a concert in the evening. Sunday, we will have a marathon session of my Infinity and Beyond crew. That will be running all day, and then Monday, we will have day 5, the concluding day of ArvCon, which will involve a game with 3 scientists from the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation, which are event benefits, and also we'll be having a game that'll be run by Brandon O'Brien on that channel as well. So we're going to be doing a lot. I hope you are all inclined. I agree. I hope you were all inclined to do this as well. And in fact, I want to just make a note here. Just making a note to myself about something I want to do for ArvCon, speaking to that issue specifically. So, but that's going to be going on, and I hope that you folks will be able to join us for that event. You do have fully functional fiber internet, so we will get a live event from Kilgore, and as I announced today, GOG.com, I can talk about this on the channel because GOG.com is one of the official sponsors of ArvCon 2023, so that's very exciting, and I'm very glad that we have them on board. We will have lots of giveaways, and we will have we'll have a concert, as I said, lots of tabletop games, interviews, whole bunch of stuff, all supporting this. So I'm very excited about that and very grateful to all of you. That's going to be it for me. I will see you folks over on my channel this evening at 9 o'clock. And if Echo is correct, then it means that Fleos is going to be an hour after that. So that means that you can join me in an hour and a half because no one will be on yet. And then you can go over and check out Fleos when Fleos starts his game back over here. So I'll be playing some Apollo Justice Ace Attorney tonight at 9. And then over the weekend, more tabletop play back here on this channel on Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern for some more Chained Echoes. So that is the plan. And I'm planning to smash the donation records from your lips to God's ears. I mean, we cleared 7,000 last year. We will be passing the $30,000 mark all-time money raised for this event this year. Last year we raised 7,000, and yes, I want to break that record for sure. We've already broken the record for sponsors. We have 9 official sponsors this year. We had 8 last year, so we've already broken that record. So, yeah, so I'm pretty excited about it. It's going to be great. That is going to do it for me, though, chat. I'm going to head on out of here, get some dinner, and then get myself ready for the stream tonight. Thank you all for being here so much, and special thanks, of course, to my wonderful players, to Pyron Jade, Darksaber2K, Peripheral Mike, and Undeveloped Bruce. Thank you all for being amazing. Thank you to the players for being amazing, and I'll catch you folks on my channel or back on this channel for more Pen and Pixels. Until then, everyone, please be good to each other, and